This is paper. You've never seen it before.
It comes from trees. We just milk it out. Oh.
Don't say milk.
No. Look at this. It's a magazine. Can you see my mother's address on it? I hope not.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to blur that out.
Yeah, I'm just going to hold it in a very special way. Yeah, well, the problem is I did that while I was looking at Rayman, so it was like I was stroking Rayman's invisible ass. Ooh, Ramon. Jesus, we can't put this out.
No. Press pause, put the controller down. It's time to talk about something extra. My name is TJ Leo.
And I'm Andrew, on camera for once.
He's here.
Yeah.
And we are in the same location at the same time for the first time.
It was a hell of a journey getting here, even though it's just down the street.
It was, it was a nice day, though.
It was a nice day.
It's beautiful.
But my foot is killing me.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to figure out a
Uber it back.
Yeah.
Uber it back. So this is a special episode, as you can no doubt tell, being on location. We are going to take a look at some old gaming magazines of varying ages we have here. Just kind of peruse through them, hang out, and relive some nostalgic memories, and maybe see some controversial takes in some of these that didn't turn out quite the way that they had anticipated, I guess, back then. Especially with like game reviews and stuff like that.
Yeah, boy.
We'll see how that starts. So we're starting with one of your magazines, so you brought a very unique one.
Yes, so what I brought here is Nintendo Power Advance. This is I'm going to cover my mother's address. This was a short-lived quarterly publication by Nintendo Power, and it has super in-depth coverage of GBA games. You see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 listed on the cover. There are full walkthroughs for every single one of these in this fairly thick, not the thickest Nintendo Power I've ever seen, but thicker than most average issues were. It's also very pristine cover material.
Yeah, it's got like a matte finish.
Yeah, it feels nice.
Yeah, very, very pretty.
I kind of wish that they'd done all of them like this, but we've got...
Do you have more than just this copy?
No, this is the only one I got because you had to subscribe to it separately.
Gotcha.
Or if I had like sent in a subscription card, I would have gotten like, because right in here actually, because I still have the subscription cards in these things.
They're still there.
They're still there.
That's
I haven't
awesome.
taken them out, and you can see, you can get 18 issues in a Nintendo Power magazine and volumes 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. Of Nintendo Power Advance, if you lived 23 years ago.
Yeah.
When
no one happened to be sent that in now. Some random
somebody
person.
just goes, the hell is this?
What the hell
Did this get lost in the mail?
Yeah. Showed up 20 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what year is this from?
This would be from 2001.
Damn.
And let's see, do we have a month? Do we have a month on it?
Is this pre 9/11 or post 9/11?
That's
a question.
Yeah, this would be pre.
Yeah, it's got to be pre, right, with all that.
Yeah. Is there a date in here? Is there a publication date? Yeah, 2001. I knew that.
There's no month listed on the side or anything? That's weird.
No.
That's very unusual.
Which is strange.
That is unusual.
Of course, it's not exactly a timely publication.
No.
So, but this is, I believe this actually came out just slightly before the GBA did. Oh no, I've got some damage on this page.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know what? Check the last page, because doesn't it normally say, like, on next month's issue? Maybe maybe it'll say what month the next month's issue is.
No. It does not.
Damn. It's a mystery.
It is a mystery.
At some point in 2001, this came out.
Yeah, but it has actual size of the GBA on the printed page.
Oh, a life-size printout.
Yeah, life-size printout.
We should test that.
Yeah, well, you want to go grab yours?
I'm going to grab it.
Yeah, I noticed that you had it, and there's a reason I was thinking about that.
Let's see.
So this is Trevor's classic Game Boy Advance.
Oh, yeah, no.
Here it is. Here's the magazine.
It's pretty close.
And here we have, if you hold that, it's pretty close.
It's pretty damn perfect. Yeah. That's awesome.
And this is, of course, the I believe they called it the Glacier edition of the system.
The clear one.
Yeah, they had it launched in the purple, the solid purple like you have. They have solid white as well. And then they had this. And I don't remember if it was at launch, but I believe there was a solid blue at some point. Yep. I remember there being one of those.
They did with the SP as well. The blue was pretty common.
Yeah. So we've got full walkthroughs for Super Mario Advance, which is Super Mario 1. It's Super Mario 2. But not the Japanese Super Mario 2. It's the American Super Mario 2.
So it's the Toki or
Doki Panic. Yeah, and it's basically a conversion of the Super Nintendo version from Mario All-Stars. With a few things cleaned up and altered a little bit. I think there's voice clips in there of Mario going, yeah, woohoo, and stuff like that.
I'm surprised they never released Super Mario All-Stars. Like, re-released it.
Yeah, you know why they did that? So they could sell these separately. Yeah. Because guess what they did? They did it with Super Mario World and Super Mario 3 and Yoshi's Island. And I think they did it in that order.
And then they re-released them all on Virtual Console 4 or 5 times.
Yep. Yep. And then we've also got F-Zero Maximum Velocity. Remember when they made F-Zero games? Well, they put out one recently, F-Zero 99. Have you played that?
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's not bad.
I want a GX sequel.
Yeah. And I mean, it's no Tetris 99.
No, Tetris 99 is amazing. Or Super Mario 35.
I never played that. But
it was the best one of that, like...
Oh, really?
You know.
I should have played that then.
It was so good.
But F-Zero 99 is not bad.
No, it's not.
It's kind of cool to see a Super Nintendo style game, but running at high resolution. It makes the scrolling effects look really, really clean.
Yeah, it's really crystal clear.
Yeah. And let's see, we've also got...
It's got every track and everything in there.
Castlevania, that Circle of the Moon, that was my first GBA game, and it's a fantastic game. And guess what? Well, actually, next up is Rayman. I thought that ad was going to lead into Castlevania, but it leads into Rayman, and this is, I believe, the original Rayman for the GBA. Damn. It was originally on the PlayStation. I believe it was on the Saturn. It was on the Jaguar as well. I've actually played the Jaguar version. One of the decent games for the Jaguar.
So the original Rayman wasn't 3D?
No, it was a 2D game. Same thing.
You learn something new every day.
Same deal with Gex, actually.
Gex was not 3D first?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was. Remember, it was a 3DO game.
Aren't they bringing back Gex? Is it being remade?
I don't think so.
What? There was a recent mascot.
Croc.
Oh, Croc.
Croc.
Yeah, that's right.
Legend of the
Because that was better than Gex.
Yeah. I didn't like Croc.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Yeah. So somewhere here there will be Castlevania. I just got. Oh my god, these pages are crisp.
They are. It's well kept.
Ooh, Iridium 3D. That was a Space Harrier-like game for the GBA. Pretty graphically impressive for the time.
So crazy, even the ads are for GBA games.
Yeah, well, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
For the GBA.
The Rise of Vicarious Visions. Hallowed be their name. May they rest in peace. Well, what are they now? Or Activision Albany or something like that?
I couldn't tell you the Activision studios at this point. There's so many.
They made that incredible Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remake, and then Activision rewarded them by putting them into the Call of Duty mines.
The Call of Duty mines, that's right.
And Fortress. You ever played this one?
Oh, yeah.
That was the game that was kind of like Tetris blocks, but it was for building up a fortress.
Let me see it. See those screenshots, see if it rings a bell. That name rings a bell.
At one point, it was actually spelled Fortress, like Tris.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Risking it.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why they changed it.
Yeah. Fortress.
Here we go. Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Ooh, that is a blown out screenshot. That is
a bad screenshot.
But, I mean, oh my god, can I see the JPEG artifacts on it? I almost can. So... yeah, but I mean, it's a 240 by 160 screen, and they have to blow it up for a magazine.
Did they ever re-release that game?
It's in the Castlevania Advance collection.
Right. They recently,
yeah, which you can get, and then of course there's the Dominus collection with the DS games that just came out recently.
Yeah.
And it shows you what I believe is every equipable item in the game, because this is like Symphony of the Night, where you can equip stuff.
It's so crazy to me that, like, back then they would just put all this stuff in Nintendo Power.
Yeah, but this is Nintendo Power Advance. You had to
Yeah.
pay extra to get this.
That's true.
This is practically a player's guide. I mean,
Yeah,
we
no,
have
it is,
here
yeah.
a full map of the castle. Right
That's
there.
crazy. That's stuff you'd find in like Prima guides.
Yeah. That's why I found this and thought, oh, this is kind of special. I should bring this in
Yeah.
because it is basically a player's guide
Yeah.
for 5 games. It's also got you the DSS, the dual setup system, which was the magic system in the game where you combined an element card with a god card. So Salamander is the element, Mercury is the god, and if you combine those 2 cards, you got the Fire Whip. If you combined Salamander with Venus, you get a strength bonus. Salamander with Jupiter, you would get fireballs that orbited you. So each of these...
And it gave you every combo.
It gave you every combo in this table. Told you how much MP it uses, whether it's an MP drain per second or per use. Lists out everything that it does. It even lists out the button combos for the ones that have special button combo attacks.
Good lord.
It
is like a Prima guide.
It is extensive, and it covers, as with everything else, the entire game. If I get... Let's see. Where is it? Here it is. Dracula. End of the game.
Is it? They show you the end of the game.
They show
Level 50 plus recommended.
Yeah. Earthworm Jim ad, Super Nintendo conversion for the GBA.
There's another series that kind of disappeared.
Well, they were trying to bring it back, but it was on the...
Don't say it. I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
It sounds bad, whatever it is. Could be Ouya, it could be mobile, could be, who knows.
The Amico.
Oh, God. Why?
The Tommy Tallarico Amico.
Well, it's not the Tommy Tallarico Amico anymore. It's the Tommy Tallarico disappeared from existence.
Fucking dead
system.
as dicks.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell happened with that thing, man.
Yeah, I never played the GBA version of Earthworm Jim, but if you look at these screenshots,
It looks really good.
It looks pretty accurate.
Yeah, the GBA was basically a slightly underpowered Super Nintendo.
Actually, it was, in a lot of ways, it was an overpowered Super Nintendo. 16 megahertz processor, 32-bit processor, so it's faster and capable of more complex operations.
Huh.
People, I think, underestimated it because of the lower screen resolution, and I will say, that doesn't bother me. The lack of an X and a Y button was kind of an issue because of Street Fighter II Turbo.
Okay.
Which you had to hold down the buttons to modify if it was like hard punch, fast punch, medium punch, that kind of stuff.
Bad.
That's not great.
It's a little strange that they went with that decision.
Yeah, I always thought that was weird, but I mean, it's Nintendo. They always do a weird thing.
They always beat to their own drum.
Yeah.
Power-Man Tournament.
Ready to Rumble Boxing.
Oh my god, that was a Dreamcast game.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can see here it's definitely not the same game.
No, it's definitely a 2D.
It is a sprite-based 2D game. But, I mean, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 was pretty fun on the GBA, so... I never played Ready to Rumble on the GBA, but I can't imagine it was terrible. GT Advanced Championship Racing with a 3D race course.
What did GT stand for at that time? Because it wasn't Gran Turismo.
It would be Grand Tour, which I think is just the English version of Gran Turismo. Mm. But you can see there, primitive 3D graphics on the GBA, because the processor was fast and powerful enough that you could do software-rendered 3D. You didn't actually need dedicated 3D acceleration hardware.
So it was better than the FX chip.
Yeah, although it definitely would have helped.
Yeah.
Because, well, you've seen what some of those 3D GBA games look like. They're... Like the GBA version of Kill Switch.
Oh, I never saw that.
Oh.
There's a GBA version of Kill Switch?
Yeah. It's...
Man, they must have thought that series was going to be something bigger than it was.
Well,
it inspired something that was bigger than it was.
Yeah, well, I think it was as much a tech demo as anything to say, look what we can do on the GBA. Yeah. Now, here's a game... There was a lot of Super Nintendo ports to the GBA.
Yeah.
Here's one that didn't make the transition very well. Pitfall the Mayan Adventure. Don't know if you guys...
Wasn't that game bad on the Super Nintendo?
It's okay on the Super Nintendo.
It? Okay. I remember it being really hard.
Digital Foundry actually did a DF retro video on it, and John Linneman concluded that it was the Sega CD version that was the best one.
Huh. Which is strange.
Yeah, it is strange. But, I mean, hey, I guess if you're one of the people who bought a Sega CD... Cool, you get the best version of Pitfall.
Yeah.
But...
I wonder why that system died.
But the GBA version, and I'll take a photo of this page so it shows up a little bit better because me holding it. Well, I imagine I'll do that a lot. Here's the cat.
Yep, he was going to make an appearance at some point.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he doesn't want to make an appearance. He just wants to talk.
Yeah.
Do you just want to talk? No, now he wants to make an appearance. Oh, now you don't want to make an appearance. Well, you can't. Say hi.
No. Well, the GBA version of Pitfall features incredibly overly saturated and somehow also overly washed out graphics.
Yeah, it looks strange.
It's like you remember how in the original this was kind of like a moody, darkened scene? Well, now these planks for the minecart track you're on are now bright green. They're lime green. They're supposed to be like a grayish bluish.
It almost looks like a bridge more than it does a
mine
track.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know if you didn't see him doing the whoa, like the balancing arms.
That's weird.
Yeah. Here's, on the other page, a game that's actually decent. Pinocchio Wings of Adventure. That's also a PlayStation game, ported to the GBA. It's not bad. It's not the best game I've ever played.
Pinobee?
Yeah.
That's a terrible name, though.
Well, it's like Pinocchio, but he's a bee.
Well, that's just...
Yeah.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Again, it's not...
Hudson. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But not a bad game. We've got Fire Pro Wrestling.
Classic.
Yeah.
That was a series that had no right of being as good as it was.
Yeah. And Top Gear GT Championship, another racing game doing a 3D thing.
Top Gear's another series that kind of died.
Yeah. Now, is that endorsed by the Top Gear show, or is that... No?
No.
I always wondered that.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, and here's...
Oh, wow.
Here's something...
That's another Dreamcast film.
Yeah. And seeing that...
On Nintendo.
Yeah. Choo Choo Rocket. A Sega game.
So they were already, like, throwing in the towel at that point?
This was the time. They wasted no time in burying the hatchet.
They were like, oh, shit. Can you imagine that phone call to Nintendo?
Jesus.
From Sega? Alright, you won, but we want to publish with you now.
Yeah.
Sure, come on board, bros.
Sure, yep. But seeing that name in a Nintendo magazine, seeing Sega there, that was a weird experience.
I wonder if that was the first... Nintendo-related thing that showcased.
I think it might be.
Yeah, it's got to be pretty.
Just
it's got to be close.
Yeah.
It might be like an actual Nintendo Power had something else. But,
I mean, they might have previewed Sonic is coming to GBA or something.
Yeah.
But Konami Crazy Racers and Iridium 3D. These are all the previews.
Dodgeball.
And, Super Dodgeball Advance.
Another port.
Yeah, and here we've got a... So we talked about this before. We have a what's coming list. We talked about this before in our canceled games episode, that Nintendo would like over-announce things
and then they would
way too early. But this is a list that, as far as I know, actually was more or less complete.
Well,
like most of these came out. So we've got Advance Wars, obviously. Made a big deal. Aerial Aces, which I think came out. It might have come out.
It rings a bell.
Yeah. Banjo-Kazooie, Grunty's Revenge. Now, that did not happen.
No, that didn't happen.
Bionicle, Tales of Tohunga. I'm not a Bionicle guy.
It may have come out, but...
That's a little bit after my time. I know there were a bunch of Bionicle games.
Yeah.
They
were Genesis, mostly, right?
No, Bionicle was later than that.
Was it really?
Yeah. Yeah, this was around the time when Bionicle was becoming a thing.
What system was it most known for? I thought it was Genesis. Maybe it was PlayStation?
No, I think there was a PlayStation game.
Unless I'm thinking of the wrong game. I might be thinking of the wrong game.
But there were PS2 games and stuff. There were a bunch of them,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like, you know how Lego Ninjago is today for the kids? It's like this is what Lego Bionicle was for the kids back then.
What was the game with the ball, the robot that was made of the balls?
Oh.
It was a side-scroller.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm going to choose that for Video Game 20 Questions at some point.
Oh, I'm going to have to figure out what it is then.
I don't know what it is.
Breath of Fire, which did come out.
Yeah.
Super Nintendo port. Caesar's Palace, casino game. Every system has them.
Yeah.
Choo Choo Rocket did come out. Dark Arena, that's a first-person shooter that is shown on this page. Dexter's Lab.
I'm sure.
I think there were a ton of Dexter's
Oh,
Lab
that one
games.
didn't. Diddy Kong Pilot.
Diddy Kong Pilot, and they have a picture of it here.
Wow.
So it wasn't just an idea. It was a thing. But they did come out with a Diddy Kong racing game for the DS, didn't they? Or the 3DS?
It may have just been a port of
It
the
might have just been a
64.
port,
Yeah.
but yeah. But this was also around the time that Rare was starting to go to Microsoft,
Yeah.
So,
They were on their way
DK
up.
Coconut Crackers, that didn't happen.
He doesn't buy any of my cables normally, so I think
Yeah.
it's just the fact that it's in his way.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this?
So then we've got Doom, which did come out.
Yep.
It's classic first-person shooter, and it was pretty good on the GBA, actually. It's totally playable. It doesn't have quite as much of the lighting differences in it. It's not as fast,
No.
but it's Doom. It's portable. It's got, most of the game's levels.
Mhm.
It's basically...
Doom's been everywhere.
Yeah, it's been everywhere. It's basically a conversion of the Jaguar version, I think, with the music now in the levels instead of just in the intermission scenes.
Gotcha.
Not a bad game. Driven, which I don't know.
I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
I thought that said driver, so I was
Yeah.
like, wait, that's weird. But
Yeah.
no.
X versus Sever, that's an interesting one. That was going to be a tie-in to a movie that didn't come out. Well, it did eventually, but it didn't come out in time for the game.
Mm.
So then the movie came out 2 years after the game, and then they made another game to actually tie into the movie.
I'm so glad that things like that don't happen anymore.
Yeah. Euro Soccer, which, I don't know, that's just a soccer game. F-18, some flight game. It's not a very good name.
Oh my god, Fievel.
Fievel, An American Tale.
I think
That's not the only throwback cartoon we're going to see in this list.
Okay.
I don't know if that came out.
I'm pretty sure that came out. I have a memory of it being a side scroller.
Okay.
Where you play as Fievel.
All right. Final Fight 1. Final Fight, of course.
Yeah, support.
The Flintstones, it's not very specific. It could be any Flintstones
It was probably
game.
the Super Nintendo port.
Fortress, we already talked about. Golden Sun.
That definitely came out.
Yes, it did. Classic GBA RPG, and there were tons of them.
Talking about sequels.
Mm-hmm. GT Advanced Championship Racing, that came out. High Heat MLB 2002.
Sure.
It's a baseball game, I'm sure. There's a million of them. Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
There were 5 Jimmy Neutron games or something on the GBA.
That was popular back then.
Yeah. KO the Kangaroo. I never played those games.
I played the, I don't know if it was a remake or a re-release or what it was on the PlayStation 4, and it was I mean, it's a mascot 3D platformer. It's never going to be bad unless it is, really bad. But they very rarely are terrible.
Yeah. Lady Sia, that one got promoted a lot in Nintendo Power, which you can see here in this 2-page spread from the front of the magazine. I never actually played this one.
No, me either.
I think they were going to make a sequel, but I don't know if it ever came out. Land Before Time, another throwback cartoon.
Wow.
Although they kept making them.
Yeah.
And they
everything after 2.
They got bad. They got bad fast.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't have Don Bluth in the sequel to your Don Bluth movie.
Yeah.
Lego Island 2, I'm pretty sure came out.
Yeah.
Lego Racers 2, there were a few of those.
There's a lot of Lego racing games. Yeah.
M&M's Lost in Time. I do not care if that came out or not.
Nope.
Mario Kart Advance did though.
Yeah. Good game.
Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. I believe that did come out. Mega Man Battle Network. Love those games.
Yep.
Men in Black, which I believe was based on the cartoon.
Yes. Yeah, it wasn't.
Metroid 4. It didn't even have the name Fusion at this point.
Oh, that was Fusion. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is early. MLB Sluggers.
Isn't that crazy that Metroid Fusion, the second last 2D Metroid game, was talked about in 2001?
Yeah, I know.
And we
right?
didn't get 5 until 2022.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
MLB Sluggers, yet another baseball game. It probably came out.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Namco Museum, that'll be their arcade collection.
Yep, I'm sure that came out.
Yeah.
That's been on everything.
NFL Blitz 2002.
What happened to those games, man?
They lost the NFL license, which is why they just went to Blitz, the league.
Hey, EA, fuck you.
Yeah. And then Midway went out of business.
Yeah, I wonder who retains the IP for
I don't
the
know.
Blitz and the Hits and...
Yeah.
There was 3, right? Blitz, Hits, Street.
Yes, NBA Street.
And FIFA Street.
Yeah. And, of course, the next one, NHL Hits.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite hockey games.
And then there's one here just called Paintball.
I'm sure came out.
Which could be, like, that's obviously just a working title. It could have been anything.
Yeah.
Planet Monsters. Now, that I actually am not familiar with, so
No.
maybe that one didn't come out. Powerpuff Girls,
I'm sure.
there were a few of those. Prehistoric Man. That'd be a port of a Super Nintendo game. I believe that did come out. Ready to Rumble Boxing Round 2.
We know that game. It was
advertised.
highly advertised in this magazine.
Yep. Rocket Power, based on the Nickelodeon cartoon. That came out. A Rugrats game, which is just called Rugrats here. Also a Nickelodeon cartoon. There were a few of those.
There's a lot of side-scrolling cartoon.
There was also a Rugrats. It was like a Mario Party kind of thing.
Yes, there was.
But it was with the Rugrats characters. Saberwolf. That did come out. That is an old Rare game from the days when they were Ultimate Play the Game and they were making games for the ZX Spectrum. And that is a Spectrum game, is Saberwolf.
Wow.
Also, the inspiration for the Saberwolf character in Killer Instinct.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah.
That's where that comes from. And they
Wolf with a U.
Yeah, they remade Saberwolf for the GBA with, of course, then modern graphics. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase. God, there's a bunch of Scooby-Doo games, so I'm sure that's one that came out. Sean Palmer's Pro Snowboarder. I'm pretty sure that came out.
Yeah.
Silent Hill. Now, this is interesting.
That's weird.
This was a visual novel / text adventure kind of game.
And it came out?
It came out in Japan.
Oh, okay.
It did not come out here in North America.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember that.
Spider-Man, Mysterio's Menace. There's a bunch of Spider-Man games.
Yeah.
SpongeBob SquarePants. Again, a ton of SpongeBob games on the GBA.
Yep.
Sports Illustrated 4K Baseball. I'm not sure what
4K.
It's definitely not. That's definitely not 4K in the term we understand it today.
No.
That's got to refer to something else. So there's a baseball one, and then there's also a football one. I'm sure they came out. Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, which is also shown on this page. It's not as good as the PlayStation version, but it's a decent GBA game. It, of course, did come out.
It was like an isometric.
Yep. Super Dodgeball Advance. That was, I believe, a launch title. Super Mario Brothers 3, which did come out as Super Mario Advance something. And Super Mario World, which also came out as Super Mario Advance something. And as I said earlier, I believe World came out before 3 in the Super Mario Advance line, so that was weird. Super Mario Brothers 3 on the GBA also had the cards. You know, the swipe cards with the little dot pattern.
Oh, yeah.
The e-reader.
Right.
Yeah, for those extra levels.
I never had an e-reader. I had cards for it, though.
Yeah, I never had one either. Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Revival.
Oh, my God.
It's just Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, you know? But you got it.
60th edition.
Yeah, they made 1 million of those. I have the collection on my Switch. It's great because it gives you like every version of, or at least almost every version.
Almost, yeah.
I don't think it has Alpha 3 Upper on it, but it's got basically every game that had an arcade version of 2, 3, and Alpha.
Capcom gives me headaches when it comes to Street Fighter.
God, there's like 12 games in that collection.
People must buy the shit out of all of them,
Yeah.
because otherwise they wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Tactics Ogre Gaiden came out as the Knight of Lotus. Great tactical RPG. Tetris Worlds, that came out. Tiny Toons. Remember Tiny Toons? Remember when that was airing when the GBA was out? What a weird thing. That was like...
That was a throwback.
Yeah, that felt like an old...
And it was 2 titles.
Yeah, 2 titles apparently. That was like a childhood nostalgia show by the time the GBA was out. So I don't know what they were doing.
Unless they were like rebooting it.
I guess. Or maybe it's a port of... Because there was Buster Busts Loose on the Super Nintendo, right? Maybe it was a port of that. I don't know. Tweety and the Magic Gem. I've never played it, but it's in this magazine. Wario Land. That came out. Wario Land 4, I think it was, for the GBA.
It's funny how they would call it Wario Land for GBA, but it's really just a port of a specific number. Yeah. You know, just like with Super Mario.
Mm-hmm. World Wrestling Federation, because that's what it was called back then.
That's literally what the game is called?
Yeah.
World Wrestling Federation?
I'm sure it came out under WWF, like Attitude or Raw or something like that. Because that was towards the end of the Attitude Era, right?
2001 was peak.
Oh, it was
peak.
Okay.
Peak Attitude Era.
Yeah, well, that's why you're the expert and I'm...
That's why I have a wrestling show.
Yeah. X-Men Reign of Apocalypse. There were a few X-Men games on the GBA, so I'm sure that's one of them. Yoshi's Island, which did come out as a Super Mario Advance game.
One of my favorite Mario games.
Love that game. Great game. And then Yoshi's Story, which did not come out on the GBA. That would have been a port of the N64 game.
Yeah,
But
which wasn't a great.
yeah, I like Yoshi's Island better.
Oh yeah, 10,000 times better.
All right, so that is it for Nintendo Power Advance.
All right.
So, what did you bring in?
The second magazine we're going to take a look at is the 1998 December issue of GamePro, which is also not in circulation anymore.
None of these are.
None of these are, no. And this is the Holiday Buyer's Guide edition.
Show them how thick it is.
This is a beast. This is one of the thicker magazines.
They don't usually get that thick.
I think it might be the thickest one.
When they do, it's usually the December issue.
Yeah.
I have an EGM like that that's pretty beefy as well.
Yeah, they got some pretty cool. There's a Twisted Metal 3 ad.
Yeah, not a great game.
No, not a great game.
It's okay, but it's no Twisted Metal 2.
No. My favorite was Black, personally. But
I never played that one, actually.
It was very good. It had, like, destructible environments and stuff, so, like, you would destroy the Ferris wheel and it would go rolling through the level.
Is that the one where they had, like, the live-action video and they got really grim and dark with the story? Oh, yeah.
And here's one of my favorite games. We talked about this on the show a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. Future Cop.
LAPD. The first MOBA.
Yeah.
That doesn't get the props it deserves for being a MOBA. I mean, the main game was
Hold on a second. Was that a Tonic Trouble ad?
It is a Tonic Trouble ad.
Tonic Trouble. Now that's a Ubisoft game, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the other Ubisoft character that had no arms and legs.
You know what's crazy is back then they didn't put the logo of the studios.
Yeah, I know.
It was just in the fine print to figure out who was making it. I don't know why they did it that way.
Well,
I mean, I guess they didn't do it on all of them. You got Universal.
Yeah, it depends.
989 Studios down here.
Yeah.
Ooh, Typhoo.
Typhoo. Yeah, I remember that game. That game was alright.
Another mascot platformer.
Yeah, for one game, but it was like a brawler.
Yeah, it was more of a fighting game.
It was fun. It was fun. I can see why it didn't become a series though.
Yeah, no. Oh wow, look at this SquareSoft ad.
Oh, what do we got here? We got Parasite Eve,
Xenogears X.
Bushido Blade 2, Brave Fencer Musashi, Final Fantasy Tactics, Saga Frontier, and Einhander.
I'm gonna put that up close so you can see all on the side there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a two-page spread, but they could have gone with a one-page spread because that's a really good.
Oh, they make more money selling a two-page spread.
Yeah, that's true. Honorable swordplay. Yeah, Bushido Blade 2 is underrated.
I love that game.
It was really good. Oh, a Metal Gear Solid ad, but it's just like it's like a survey asking questions.
Do you like my?
Which one is not a covert operative? And it's got Sherlock Holmes as one of the options for some strange reason. Yeah, it's got some crazy stuff in there. Yeah, Toys R Us.
Oh man, I love to get my M-rated game Turok 2 Seeds of Evil at Toys R Us.
Yeah, that's weird. Well, the rating was pending at the time.
Well, what did they think it was gonna be?
Yeah,
it's a game where you have a device that you can use to decapitate enemies.
Here's a funny write-in. Final Fantasy, not final. About 3 months before Final Fantasy VII came out, I read on a website that you could revive Aeris once she died. The site, however, also said that Square EA was going to cut out the part in the game where you find out how to revive her because it would delay the game's release. In addition, I heard that there would be a special 4th Final Fantasy VII disc containing weapons, bosses, and characters supposedly cut from the game. Is there any truth to this? When you didn't mention the website's address, we thought this outrageous rumor was whack, but we checked with Square EA anyway. What was Square EA?
There was a publishing deal between them back in the late 90s. There were a few games that were published under the Square Electronic Arts banner. I believe Parasite Eve was the first one, or one of the first ones. But most of the games in the ad that we just saw, those were published under the Square EA partnership.
Gotcha.
And I remember thinking, oh god, please don't be a permanent thing. Please don't use under Square.
Thank God they separated.
And then Square basically went on to be a massive publisher like EA, and basically became EA anyway. So
it says after a lengthy silence at the other end of the line, our suspicions were confirmed. No way, Jose, or whoever you are. Wipeout 64. Oh, we got a dent, a dog ear. I don't like those.
That's what happens.
Yep, they're old.
These are 20-plus-year-old magazines.
Oh, I love the art attack in these.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get a good close-up of the great art.
It's always fun to see who fucking traced from the box art, because
yeah,
I did that.
Yeah.
I absolutely did that. When I got my letter read on Video and Arcade Top 10.
The Chrono Trigger one.
That Chrono Trigger one is definitely not traced.
No.
That is some seriously good.
Yeah, it's Frog.
Yeah.
It's, Luca?
Yeah.
I don't know who that is in the background.
I can't tell either.
Obviously Chrono.
That
must be Marley. Is it Marley? Is that how you say her name?
I don't know. I assume it's probably Marley.
Where's Magus? Unless that is supposed to be Magus, but I don't know.
Maybe? I think it's just generic surprised anime, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe Magus isn't here.
Hey, Extreme G2. We had one of these series of games on Video Game 20 Questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get it because I completely didn't know that there was a
3
in... Oh, look, the expansion pack for N64.
Yep. Get that extra 4 megabytes of memory.
Good lord. Oh, it was being sold with Turok 2 and Rogue Squadron.
Yep, those games supported it.
Really? I always remember Donkey Kong 64 and Perfect Dark.
Yeah, they required it.
And these were so these ones didn't require it.
They were just enhanced by it. I think they ran out of high res mode with it or something.
You know what? Thinking about that, this thing kind of reminds me of is like the pro editions of PlayStation and everything. That's the modern equivalent.
Yeah. Sell you a whole new system.
Yeah.
Well, that was supposed to be part of the 64 DD, but that thing, we know how that went.
We didn't. Yeah. Oh, cool
borders. Cool borders.
That game was pretty good. I'm not
from
gonna
Web Systems.
Wow, a 4-page spread. Jesus, that's rare.
Yeah.
Holy crap. I know there was, what is that? Oh, Moto Racing. Who cares about that crap? ODT. Tomb Raider Rises. This was, I think, Tomb Raider
Not
3.
to be confused with Rise of the Tomb Raider.
No. Rugrats.
Rugrats game. Tekken 3. We're up to 8 now.
Good lord. Tekken Tag Tournament's still my favorite of those games.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. So this is the buyer's guide.
Oh, yeah.
So Major Mike says the top PlayStation recommends are Metal Gear Solid, Parasite Eve, Breath of Fire 3, Oddworld Abe's Exodus. Was that the bad one or the good one?
I don't remember.
Medieval, Einhander, Tekken 3, Resident Evil 2, DualShock version.
Mm-hmm.
There was they made a separate version to include the DualShock.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It had some bonus material in it as well.
Well, it says director's cut now on this one. DualShock, yes, director's cut now.
I don't know what that means. I don't think there's a director, unless I'm stupid and there's another version that I don't know about. 3 versions
of Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Rival Schools and Need for Speed 3.
Rival Schools is a good game.
The best non-3D fighting game ever made. They might make claims.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would...
it's pretty good. I don't know if I'd say it's the best, but it's pretty good.
And then...
Is that the Gamecom advertised over here?
It is the Gamecom Pocket Pro.
Oh, no.
God, that's going to go on the list of...
that's a failure for the
peripherals
ages.
And failed game systems. Well, let's look at Major Mike's top 10 N64 recommends. Bust a Move 2 is his number 1. 1080 Snowboarding, World Cup 98, Banjo-Kazooie, NFL Blitz, Off-Road Revenge?
Off-Road Revenge.
Off-Road Revenge.
Where you race as David Hassel. That would actually... No, that'd be rad. I'd play that.
Mortal Kombat 4, Turok 2.
Turok 2, great game.
Star Fox 64? Really?
Fantastic game.
Yeah, but why is it in the night? When did 64 come out? 96?
Yeah. Star Fox 64.
That must have been a launch game.
Star Fox 64, no.
No? It came out later, right?
No, it was like... I think it was like late 97.
Really? And they're still advertising it in the top 10 list a year later.
Well, I mean, it's that good. Remember, the N64 didn't have as many bangers coming out as close together.
Well, let me ask you this. Would you put Star Fox 64 in there or Mario 64? Back then?
Well, but the thing is, Mario 64 was a pack-in title, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I think it was.
It's a good question. They don't do pack-in titles a whole lot these days,
Yeah,
so I don't know.
unless it's with a bundle. But I'm pretty sure that Mario 64 was a pack-in title, so everybody would have had it anyway. So
That's crazy.
There's no reason to recommend it.
And Yoshi's Story, number 10.
Yeah.
Which no one cares about.
Yeah, like you said, I wasn't as big on Yoshi's Story as I was.
Good medieval spread there.
Yep.
I played the remake. It was better than the original.
Okay.
But, if you didn't like the original, you're not going to like the remake. I'll put it to you that way.
Soul Reaver!
Soul Reaver.
One of my favorite games of all time.
Getting a remaster very soon.
Yeah.
What did they say? 2024, like
early January, 2025? I believe.
Yeah. What is this? Just an IDOS advertisement. Nightmare Creatures.
For the N64.
Was that good?
I didn't play the 64 version. I think I only played the PS1 version.
We talked about this recently.
Yeah.
I think I saw it on YouTube recently too.
Yeah. Hey, you got a card in there as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, I don't work those bad boys out. They stay. Gore. Vigilante 8.
Yep.
Man, you want to talk about a series that shouldn't have died. It's another good one that shouldn't have died.
I think that was just a case of Twisted Metal did better in the market.
Yeah, but I mean, at least Vigilante 8 was multi-platform.
Yeah.
So you would have thought that it would survive. I'm going to skip ahead just because of our time frame.
Yeah. We've spent a lot of time on the Nintendo Power Advance, way more than I meant to.
I want to look towards reviews if they have any in this edition, because I want to see what they would have given.
We just passed an ad for the original Rayman, as it would have been released on the PlayStation.
Oh, look at that ad. Now that ad is sick. Who's this for? Oh, it's Target.
Yeah.
Look at that. We got both N64 and PlayStation on the same ad.
Yeah. No Saturn, though.
Nope. Sorry, Sega. You were already failing at this point.
Well, the Dreamcast was about to come out, so...
I don't think this is going to have reviews.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just...
the holiday players guide.
Yeah, try and cram as many titles in there as possible.
Yeah, I don't think there's... Oh, a Game Shark ad at the end, but it's not a good ad, though.
Man, Game Shark was a lot of fun. You could do some crazy stuff with that.
Yeah, and then they got some WCW stuff at the end there. But that is GamePro. That's a huge thing. We could spend a whole episode just on that.
Yeah, we gotta speed through these because
we got about an hour left. So.
There's a lot to get to.
Yep. All right, let's move on to your next one.
All right. So the next thing that I have is official Xbox magazine with Conquer Live and Reloaded on the cover, the remake of Conquer's Bad Fur Day, which I think
sucked. I think.
See, this is what I was about to say. People unfairly give it shit. I think it was good. The reason that people bitch about it is because they censored the swearing.
Which is weird on the Xbox to do that.
Yeah, and I think if you beat the game, you unlock uncensored mode. But why?
Yeah, why would you not just offer that at the beginning?
But I've played Live and Reloaded. It plays fine and it looks incredible. It looks like a 360 game.
Yeah. I do remember that. I remember it looking good, but I don't remember it playing good.
Yeah.
But it could just be my skewed...
Tron Killer App.
That is a terrible name.
When they were trying to make Tron a thing again.
Well, they're apparently trying again. Did you see the announcement for Tron, the Tron Legacy sequel?
Yeah, well, Tron Legacy was all right. I liked the soundtrack, but I mean, it was Daft Punk, so... Of course it was going to be good.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? Oh, that's real Live and Reloaded. Okay.
Live and Reloaded coverage.
Sudeki.
Yeah, Sudeki. Pray for a full frontal assault. Classy, guys.
Really what year was this from?
2004. September 2004. This is the Games Gone Wild issue. I should point this out.
Tip my ride.
Yeah, well, no, that's not the dirty part. They talk about Playboy the Mansion.
Oh, good lord.
Leisure Suit Larry, and
oh my God.
The Guy Game, the game that was taken off the market for having an underage girl get topless in it.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember that game. I didn't know that was a thing, though.
That killed the let's make porn games trend from the time.
Good.
Yeah, there was also, they don't talk about it here, but there was also BMX XXX. Yeah, ride a bike around and look at some titties.
That was the kind of crap that gave gamers a bad name.
Yeah, come on, guys. You just make the games good.
Yeah.
You just make the games good. We don't need polygonal titties. Come on, people.
We need real titties.
Yeah, well, I mean, those you can actually. Well, I mean, depends on how good VR gets. But what? What now?
I have no comment. I'm gonna stay out of that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my nose out of those titties.
Also, fun thing about the cover. Look at that. You can. That's just the fuzz effect from in
From the
game.
game, yeah.
Like you can see that's the multi-layered texture effect that they used to get the fuzzy fur.
Which looked really good at the time.
It did on a low-res screen of the era. It looks great. Now,
getting frisky. Xbox.
yeah, Xbox grows up. They spelt interview wrong.
Of course, Xbox spelled interview wrong. It's an experience.
But they spell it interview. Is that deliberate?
Oh, it might be.
It might be deliberate. But they're talking to Akira Yamaoka, composer of the Silent Hill games.
Oh, this one has reviews. We gotta check out those. That's
yeah.
I want to see what they gave all those games.
Pariah.
Pariah.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be like the Halo.
Yeah, one of
killer.
many.
Yeah.
Remember
Hayes?
Yeah.
The Halo killer, Hayes.
Yeah.
Sure. That ended up real well for them. Oh, Burnout 3 Takedown.
Yep.
The best arcade racer of all time.
Now there's an ad in here I wanted to show you.
Ooh, Project Gotham Racing. Oh, The Girl Next Door. Why is that in this?
They've got a movie ad in here. Oh man. Does this look like The Rock? Like,
yeah, kind of. I thought it looked like Bruce Willis.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this guy
it's the
here.
Rock's eyes.
The Rock's eyes with like Bruce, like the top half is The Rock, the bottom half of the face is Bruce Willis.
That was totally on purpose. There's no way they didn't do that on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, or like this is The Rock.
Yeah.
And then this is Bruce Willis.
It really is.
I'm gonna have to take a photo of that and then cut it down properly.
Make a short out of that.
Yeah. Where was the ad that I saw in here? Oh,
that. All the butts. What is that game?
Kingdom Under Fire: The Crusaders.
That's a lot of ass.
There's a lot of booty in here.
Wow, this magazine is strange. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
This was a good pick, though.
Yeah. But there was an ad.
Pimp My Ride.
There was an ad that I texted you about that I wanted to show. Oh no! You know what? That's in the PlayStation magazine.
Okay.
That's in the PlayStation mag. We'll get to that one. I just remembered what the game was, and that's why it's in the PlayStation magazine. Yeah.
Need for Speed Underground 2.
Pimp My Ride. Xbox goes for street racing cred.
Yeah. Because that worked out well.
More airbrushing on the chassis than a Playboy centerfold. Okay.
This was when like the bro.
Yeah, this isn't
crap.
Like they've like taken these women into Photoshop and given them like a
cartoon
posterizing effect. It doesn't make them look hot. It makes them look weird.
It makes them look fake.
Yeah.
Showdown, Legends of Wrestling. That game sucked. That was a bad game.
Oh my god.
Vietnam, Men of Valor.
Yeah, there's the...
Halo 2.
Halo 2.
God, remember how epic that friggin'...
Yeah. Fatal Frame 2.
Never played the Fatal Frame games. They're really good.
They're good.
Def Jam, Fight for New York.
Now, I have a question. Don't those use the same fight... Yeah, Aki, those use the same fighting system as... WCW, NWO,
and No Mercy and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's weird.
They were tweaked though. They were definitely.
But it's weird to think that's a fighting that's a game engine from a Japanese wrestling game that's repurposed for all these hip hop artists beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I kind of like it.
I can't believe they stopped making those games. So.
Yeah. Outrun 2, like 30 or 20 or whatever years after the original Outrun.
Yeah.
From Sega.
Did they stop making those?
Yeah. But I'm like, Sega has... How many racing franchises do they have? They have Outrun.
GT.
They have Sega GT. They have Daytona USA. They have
GT Rally.
virtual racing.
Did they have Ridge Racer, or was that?
No, that's Namco.
Namco. Ooh, X-Men Legends.
X-Men Legends.
That was good.
Yeah.
Pro Fishing Challenge.
Pro Fishing Challenge. Size does matter. With a hot woman wearing practically nothing.
I guess they thought at the time that people that were buying Xbox Magazine were like horny college dudes.
Yeah.
I guess. Very strange.
I mean, that would explain the fucking
Blinks.
Blinks, yeah, okay. That's a character that'll stick around.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say that explains the fucking Dead or Alive beach volleyball. And
yeah.
you remember that with the guys like, and then they all get the couch cushions and put them on.
Physics.
Yeah.
Which still exists today somehow.
Yeah.
And are absolutely horrible.
Galleon Islands of Mystery. That's a game that I've.
Pro tip, game makers: boobs don't move like this.
Yeah.
They don't move like water sloshing around in a.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah,
absolute classic.
Yeah. As that is the framework for the Insomniac Spider-Man.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Yep. Drive 3er.
Yeah, God, I hate when they do that crap. I hate that crap. Just call it Driver 3.
Yeah. Madden NFL and ESPN NFL 2K.
So, funny story that reminds me of. So, Electric Playground, the show. So, Victor Lucas is re-releasing all of the classic episodes in 4K on.
Now, are those just upscaled or what?
I don't know. They're being redone by the Toronto School of Art and Technology or something like that in Toronto or Vancouver or something like that. I'm not sure if they're upscaled or if they're being like remastered or.
Well, if they were shot on video, they'd have to be upscaled, and for something of that era, I'd imagine it was shot on video. I don't think you'd be shooting a video game show on film.
Yeah, no, I don't
it'd be a little expensive.
Yeah, it was pretty rough quality back then. But one of their episodes, so at the end of all of their episodes, they do reviews on the run, which is where they review like 4 or 5 games really quickly in rapid succession. And there was one episode where they did 5 NFL games that came out in the same year.
Oh my God!
I was like, this is why EA bought the damn license, because they're like, you know what? Fuck that! I'm not going up against 4 other competitors.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Sorry to interrupt. Full Spectrum Warrior on the demo disc that came with this issue.
Oh man, that game was good.
Yeah.
Psyops
the Mind Game.
Return to the King.
Yeah, I have the full version of that game. It's a great game.
It's a great game. I think I do too. I think it's right there. It's on GameCube. Might be 2 Towers.
Yeah, also a good game.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is.
Where's the reviews?
Oh, let me see. Where is?
Yeah, I want to see what they gave all these games.
Review. So it starts on page 60.
Yeah, let's see what they scored all these games.
See, this is what you had to do, but.
No. Can we show that on YouTube? I don't even know.
Well, there's side boob here, but there's no nipple, so,
okay. So I think
we're good. We can do that.
Apparently, we can show side boob.
I think.
Yeah, but we might have to check in that.
Yeah, yeah. So, oh Jesus, the Xbox.
Oh, is this the guy game?
No, well, this I think is Leisure Suit Larry,
including that.
Yeah, this is from the guy game. This is from Leisure Suit Larry. I think from the art style, this is Leisure Suit Larry, because well, maybe it's Playboy the Mansion. I don't know.
Either way, it's terrible.
Yeah.
What does it say? The Xbox grows up and gets juvenile at the same time.
Yeah.
Okay, that's more hitting the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it growing up then.
Oh my God. This is Leisure Suit Larry, because the girls look.
I can't believe those are games that still get made.
Yeah. Did you know that you can catch venereal disease in the original Leisure Suit Larry? I will say they do encourage safe sex.
Watch out for STDs.
If you have sex with the hooker...
sorry, STIs now.
If you have sex with the hooker and don't use the condom, your crotch glows after you walk away. And then it's like, uh-oh, you should have used protection.
I don't even know what to say. Second Sight, the PsyOps not good game.
Yeah, this is the facial expression I make when these are the type of games getting made.
Yeah.
Like, come on, guys.
Jeez.
Get real. There's porn on the internet. We don't need to. We don't need to buy it on the Xbox. It's like it's there for free. And here's the guy game. Like I said, taken off store shelves because one of the girls turned out to be underage.
This was a magazine you picked for good. I mean,
good bad reasons.
Good bad reasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost at 50.
Yeah. It's just there's so many cards here.
Yeah, it's hard to get through to them.
Yeah. Oh, and I've now passed it. Yeah. Look at this fucking.
Every ad in here has a woman.
Every single one. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, this was
terrible. Again, this is the era in which we all had internet access. You don't need to do this anymore.
That was a GameFly ad.
Yeah, it's a GameFly ad.
I think they still exist. In the States.
So yeah. So okay.
Okay.
So yeah. This is previews.
That's preview. So they were wrong.
What?
Oh, unless that was 90. Was it 90?
Was it 90? Are we just dumb?
No, 80.
80.
That's why. So it's over here then.
Okay.
That's 73. Right.
So
yeah, because we saw all this. We must have just skipped right over the reviews.
Oh, you know why? Because it's right after this like review roundup, which is this massive table of, I assume, it's the scores that they gave to all games that they've reviewed so far.
Oh.
Because this is an Xbox magazine, it was still fresh enough that they could do that.
So this is 86. So the reviews.
Well, this is the index of the reviews for the issues that they've given, and then these will be the reviews for this issue.
No, these are cheats.
But these are cheats.
It must have been before. It said the reviews started on 80, and that was 86.
Oh my god. This is...
Yeah, here we go.
Okay,
yeah. So there's not a whole lot of pages.
Yeah.
So Driver, what did they give Driver 3? A
4.8 out of 10.
I didn't play any other game, Driver game except the first one, and I couldn't get past the tutorial, so...
Yeah.
Remember that tutorial where you're in the parking garage?
Yep.
In order to continue, you had to do everything on this checklist.
I hate it when they do that.
Oh, it was stupid.
Why would you put reviews at the end? Oh, Jesus, look at this.
Weak.
W3AK. Weak.
That's actually kind of clever.
Well, they were having fun with it.
Yeah. What else did they review?
Let's see.
Oh, the Madden.
Yeah, oh,
games.
this is.
They gave a 9.1 and a 9.3 to the NFL games.
Look, they might be good football games, but this must be graded like on the
scale of sports
football games because
yeah.
it's like it's a football game. It's fucking football.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that it's bad.
No, they must be good football games.
But it's like it's football.
I love how they say in one of these quotes, Madden's AI is generally solid, but still way too susceptible to an aggressive passing attack. But yeah, you gave the game a 9.1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Knight's Apprentice, Memoryx Adventures? What the fuck is this?
Nothing. 4.9. That's what that is.
Ooh.
That's what that is. Anything below a 5 is basically trash.
Yeah.
On these scales. That was it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind of thin.
Yeah. Xbox,
all right.
There's a reason for that.
Move on to the next one.
All right, and then my last magazine here is this is my pride and joy of my magazine collection. This is the oldest magazine I have, and it doesn't even have the cover anymore.
That happens.
Back then, I did not take care of my magazine.
Is this staple bound?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the staple bound ones, the covers come off way easier because they're only attached at like 2 points.
Yeah, this one's pretty dusty. So this was an EGM, Electronic Gaming Monthly, for those that don't know.
Yeah, one
edition.
of the longest lasting gaming magazines.
Yeah, and this was specifically the Super Nintendo Buyer's Guide from May 1994.
And then they have this Mega Play, the #1 Sega video game magazine, and an ad in here.
Which I never bought that one. There was a lot of cool letters. This is bringing back memories. I've read this magazine about 1,000 times. They talk about Mega Man X in here. The Super Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. Let's see. So this was all about cheats and tricks. So we had cheats from Mega Man X, their Acrobat. Remember Ninja Warriors?
Yeah.
ActRaiser 2.
They came out with a remake of the Ninja Warriors.
Yes, they did.
Yeah, Ninja Warriors Again, I believe it's called.
Was it any good?
Well, it's the Ninja Warriors. I think it's just like enhanced graphics.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Peacekeepers!
Yeah.
Cheats for Peacekeepers. The Flynn... Oh, I don't call that a cheat. Flynn's attack.
Yeah. Come on.
More fighters now. There's a cheat.
Yeah.
Art of Fighting.
Remember when you could get the robot, the one of the robots that's your enemies in the game? You could recruit one that they reprogrammed. God, we played that game so much.
That game is weird because it has no music.
Yeah,
you play with no background music the entire
It's just
time.
like ambient sound.
Yeah, you just hear
there's a
rain
lot,
dropping.
but there's like music in between levels, and then it's just the sounds of the street and
punching.
and punching.
TMNT Tournament Fighters. That was a good game. I keep contemplating buying the TMNT collection.
I have it.
Yeah, is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could, if we got time after this, we could play it.
Oh, you have it on Switch?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah, because I Turtles in Time is like it's like the game. We got Wolfenstein 3D, The Lord of the Rings.
Oh God.
Before Lord of the Rings was Peter Jackson's gem.
That game is terrible.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
The Super Nintendo Lord of the Rings game, it's awful.
We got previews for Porky Pig, The Death and Life of Superman, which was not bad. Brawler. Speedy Gonzales.
That game, so that game has an interesting.
Which one? Spike McVang?
No, Speedy Gonzales.
Oh.
Has an interesting little quirk where it crashes most emulators.
Oh, really?
Because of a very specific operation that it does, and so it's actually used these days as an accuracy test for emulators. If you can hit the button in, I think it's like level 6 or something, because of the way that it's programmed into the game, it crashes most emulators. But if your emulator is really accurate and functions like a real Super Nintendo, it won't crash. It'll work. And so that's one of the games that's used as a benchmark.
So is that because that game was poorly designed, or
no?
It's
just a peculiar way in which the programmer decided to just handle this function in a game. It just happens to be a thing that trips up emulators.
I remember playing Spike McFang, but I don't remember the name of the game being Spike McFang. It almost kind of looks like Mystical Ninja in some way.
I was gonna say, are you thinking of Arrow the Acrobat?
Well, that's in here too, but I don't think so.
I never played Spike McFang.
No. Days Before Christmas, but it's the Days.
Yeah,
DAZ.
DAZ. Yeah, I never played that. I never even heard of that.
Scooby-Doo Lucasfilm like.
Oh, that would... What? I've never even heard of that. That's probably fun.
Yeah. It was available March 95, apparently. Whether it came out or not. I don't know. Double Dragon 5.
Dragon View. I've actually played that game.
Yeah. That's a weird looking game.
It is.
Wild Guns, World Heroes 2. Okay, so then this was crazy. This was a Super Nintendo, Super Metroid guide. Yeah. This was another one of those things where they're like, here's the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, they give you the entire map detail, but, like, it's all screenshots of the game.
Oh, God.
Like,
and back then...
So it's not even, like, look at that. Like, it's all screenshots.
Yeah. And, let me take a look. It is all screenshots, because you can see...
It's stitched.
Yeah, you can see all the multiple Samuses in here.
Yep.
So that's not ripped from the game's data. That is somebody having to screenshot it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a rough way of doing it. But
yeah.
If they didn't have access to developer tools, that's what they would have had to do.
They showed all the...
Indeed what they did.
All the main bosses in the game. I remember using this as a kid to get through Super Metroid.
Yeah.
They didn't cover the final boss, though, which is good. Because I would have been pissed finding out about Mother Brain back in the day.
Yeah.
Then they got, I think this is Super Street Fighter 2. No, Fighters... Oh, it's a bunch of different fighting games. Mm-hmm. So, Street Fighter 2, Fighter's History by Data East. I don't even know that one.
Yeah, well, here's a hint. If you're playing a fighting game on the Super Nintendo and it's not a Capcom game, it might not be worth your time.
Yeah, probably not.
Even Mortal Kombat, it's better in the arcade. The Super Nintendo, at least the Super Nintendo version of MK1, it's got like really delayed controls.
Here's another Super Metroid where it covers the entire game, but it's for Ninja Warriors.
Yeah.
So they have it's the same thing where they do screenshots.
Yeah, of the entire
map.
Yeah.
So it's like every stage.
Yeah, and every like screen's worth of the map, you see the character again.
Yeah.
It's just screenshots.
It's just screenshots stitched together. It's hilarious. Although it's very very cool.
Dedicated.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if I would have been crazy enough back then to try and edit them out. Like try and
edit out the people.
Like take multiple stepped screenshots and then just copy and paste the sections to to get rid of the character.
Did the same thing with the Jungle Book here, which I never played.
Yeah.
This was a Super Nintendo Jungle Book. I never
Yeah,
played this
but
one.
you know what? It was probably good because most of those Disney games.
Yeah,
on
the
Super
Lion King
Nintendo-
and Aladdin.
Lion King has that one level that's really hard.
The
I just can't wait to
jumping on the giraffes and everything.
Yeah, and the monkeys. Yeah, that level's hard as balls.
One of our favorite games when we were growing up.
Yes.
King of Dragons. Man, the music in that game is just excellent.
I haven't played that in a million years.
So this is another game where I've had contemplations of buying the collection because it's a part of the Capcom Brawler collection. I think, if I remember correctly. But that includes Knights of the Round and.
Yeah. Actually, it was maybe Knights of the Round was the one that I played.
We've played. I know you and I have definitely played.
We've probably played this. Yeah,
I've played Knights of the Round as well.
I remember because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking maybe it was Knights of the Round, but I do remember playing that as well. Mega Man Soccer actually not bad.
Very good game for a soccer game.
Weird concept. It's kind of like a Nintendo World Cup on the NES.
Yep. So that is EGM from what did I say, 94? May 94. I love this. This is a gem.
Yeah. Shame about the cover, though.
Yeah.
So, the last one, and the final one that I've brought in, is probably the one that we could spend the most time on. Mm. This is official US PlayStation Magazine, January 2000. It is Volume 3, Issue 4. I don't know how many issues are in a volume.
Volume 3, Issue 4. Why would they just not call it an issue?
I don't know. Just give them numbers, guys.
Backhand these people. Volumes.
So, Gran Turismo 2. That's not what we're going to be talking about, though.
Heck no.
This.
We are not simulation racing fans by any stretch.
They're fine.
Yeah, I'm sure they're great for the people that enjoy them.
This issue has more than that to talk about. It's also got 1 million ads.
Yeah.
But no, this issue, Tomba.
Good lord.
Remember Tomba, everybody?
They're remastering the first one, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Or the second. I think first and second one.
But what I want to talk about is this right here.
The Y2K Buyer's Guide.
The Y2K Buyer's Guide. So a lot of the time you'll see, as we have, holiday buyer's guides. Because this was the January 2000 issue, they're like, end of the world! Here's the games you'll need to survive the apocalypse.
Oh my god.
It's actually pretty good.
Alright.
So, this is the one.
Can't be worse than that Xbox magazine.
Well, we'll show you. You'll see.
Music generator.
Yeah, MTV Music Generator.
Huh.
This was, I believe, one of those things where you would put the game in, it would load the program, and then you'd put in an audio CD, and you would get like a visualizer to the music or something like that. There were a few games on the PlayStation that experimented with that kind of stuff, and like I said, I don't know if that's exactly how this worked, or if it was just like a synthesizer software with the MTV branding. But I know that there are games that use that CD swap function. One of my favorite games, the Monster Rancher franchise.
Oh, Monster Rancher. That was good.
I have Monster Rancher 2 on my Switch.
Oh, cool.
It's a little weird because there's no CD switching.
Yeah.
I'll show you how that works. We have what happens if you have a modded or pirated PlayStation game. It has a warning that comes up in Japanese saying that it's this is a modded PlayStation. They didn't bother localizing that message. Let's see here.
Don't pirate.
So here's an interesting one. Console gaming can be a lot of fun, so can finger puppets. This is an ad for the 3DFX line of video accelerators, what we now know as the graphics processing unit, in a PlayStation magazine.
That's very strange.
Why would you have an ad that
shits on console?
Yeah, in your console magazine. Very strange. That's one of the weird ads.
Oh, Suikoden 2.
Suikoden 2. That's coming back.
Yeah, they're remastering both 1 and 2.
Yep.
I haven't played those, so I'm hoping I'll be able to get to those.
I think you'll like I always like this ad for Battle Tanks.
A Wizard of the Oz parody. Battle Tanks was a fun game, though.
Yeah. So here's an early look at the PS2. Look at that screenshot of Tekken Tag Tournament. That looks
gorgeous
awesome.
Back then,
Yeah, like look at the grass.
Yeah.
It's so detailed.
Back then,
I'm gonna have to take a photo of this because I don't think it's gonna come across in the video as good as my phone is doing at this. It's like it looks really good.
Spread the love.
Yeah, I like this picture. Is the PlayStation starting to show its age?
Oh my god.
The mouth that looks like a butthole.
Was the PS2 not out at this time?
No. This was shortly, I believe, shortly before its Japanese launch, and the North American launch was later that year.
Gotcha.
Because again, this is January, so this is right on the cusp of it.
The Dreamcast was out.
Yeah, the Dreamcast was out. Came out here in '99.
Yeah, 99.99.
Yep, and in '98.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That a console that was basically equal to GameCube, PlayStation 2, etc.
Yeah.
Was out in '99.
Yep.
They were ahead of their time, man. Oh my god.
You got to do the Jaws parody.
Yep. That's actually not bad.
Yeah. Big old bass.
Probably a terrible game, but.
Fishing games?
Is that Demolition Racer?
Yeah.
Man, that is one of the most underrated arcade racing games of all time. Play Demolition Racer. I wonder if that's on PlayStation Classics. I gotta check that out.
Maybe.
It's so good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I remember playing the demo on PC for like ages. Skid marks, they're not just. Oh my god.
Ads were wild back then, man.
They gotta bring that shit back.
Oh, I wonder if this has the Gauntlet ad in it. You know the Gauntlet.
Another series that should come
Gauntlet
back.
Dark Legacy ad. The game where you and 4 friends can play together, but one of you has to be a chick, and the guy's like, "Nice rack, dude." I think that is in.
Was
here.
that a fold out spread?
Yeah.
What
For
the hell?
Tomb Raider: Last Revelation.
Holy crap!
Fold out ad.
Man, they must have spent a lot of money to get that out.
I'm almost certain that the Gauntlet ad is in here. Oh, and you know what? It might have been in the EGM.
Mm.
Yeah, it would have had to have been because that was a PS2 game.
Right.
So it was in the EGM from a little bit later.
GTA 2.
GTA 2, and remember,
Man.
respect is everything.
No, it's not.
Back when Rockstar was still technically DMA design, but also Rockstar.
Also Rockstar,
That was a
yeah.
weird time.
Oh,
Army
man.
men wading through the Fruit Loops, the Cheerios.
I can't believe they stopped making those games because there was a lot of good Army Man games.
Yeah. Well,
They
maybe
could make a really good one. Oh, Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis.
So that just came out on PS1 Classics, and
Mhm.
I tried it, and yeah, I can't.
Oh,
It's so boxy, like the tank control.
Yeah.
I can't.
yeah.
Without the nostalgia, it's hard to play those.
Die Hard Trilogy 2, which is a weird thing to say since there was no second trilogy.
There was no second.
Die Hard movies at the time.
Galarians.
Galarians. So here's one of the ads I want to talk about. The most talked about, most satisfying, most magical, most engrossing, most interesting RPG of '99 will gain one final title on January 1st, 2000. Most hard to find. This is an ad for Lunar Silver Star Story, and
Which is the sequel? No, it's the first game.
it's the remake of the first game. But then they went and they made Lunar Legend on the GBA, which is a remake of Lunar. And then they would put out Lunar Silver Star Harmony on the PSP, which is basically Silver Star Story Complete on the PS1. So no, it is not
The final title.
the most hard to find game.
Yeah.
You just need to wait 2 years for them to port it to something else.
Yep. Or 15 years to get it to remastered edition.
Yeah. Fucking Beanie Babies. But here's something that they do. On that day, sales to retail of Lunar Silver Star Story for the PlayStation game console will cease forever. The end. Omega time. Sales have far exceeded our expectations. So naturally we're stopping?
Yeah, we're gonna stop.
Yeah, that's weird. Here's the first choice line of dialogue. And being the mentally challenged non-NBA gaming types we are, we thought it would be kind of cool to say enough.
They called themselves mentally challenged.
Yeah, do you want to... Hey, guys, we're stupid. Do you want to buy games from us?
Unless it was like a mocking people. Maybe people were insulting them back then, and so they were like...
Maybe, I don't know.
making
It just...
fun of it?
Why would you...
That's weird.
Why would you say that? all the cool people that know what's up have already bought the game anyway, had the experience, probably listening to the free soundtrack and fondling the other.
Did you say fondling?
Yeah, that's what the ad says. I didn't add that.
I didn't add that. I don't think you would add fondling, guys.
Well, it's me.
I
I might.
you might, yeah.
But no, that's what the ad says. I mean, the game.
Hello.
The game. No, please don't start that again. The game does talk about molesting Luna's stuff at one point. Also, hey, these rednecks managed to nail something other than each other. That localization was wild. But anyway,
All your base belong to us.
well, all your base are belong to us, but with redneck incest jokes. And fondling
America.
the other free stuff right now, laughing at the ignoramuses, or is that ignorami? We can never remember, who still call anime that freaky speed racer stuff. Why not keep the... This is still an ongoing sentence, by the way.
Yeah, this is still the ad.
This is one long sentence. Why not try to keep this game at least a little bit of a secret and make the penny pinchers who haven't bought it yet end up paying too much on eBay when they realize what a terrible mistake they've made? So now they're also saying, hey, you should buy an extra copy of this game
And sell it.
and then sell it on eBay. You should scalp this game. This is an ad in the official PlayStation magazine.
That is bizarre.
If you think that passing on the Galian experience has something to do with floating Spanish doodads, you're definitely missing the boat. Oh, it's a naval joke. Spanish galleon. I get it.
Spanish doodads.
In that case, about all we can offer you by way of consolation is ignorance is bliss. Keep your damned tainted burger emporium earned money, you freaking spaz. You're not worthy, and don't count on your mama saving your sorry butt with her awesome foresight because she already spent the family dough on Wonder Bread, spelled WUNDR, and Cool Aid, spelled AIDE, because I guess they couldn't clear that with their lawyers. Bon appetit. This is such a...
Even though they specify eBay with its trademark.
Yeah, with the... It's got the little trademark symbol.
Yeah, but they can't say Wonder Bread.
Or Kool-Aid. This is an ad written by a crazy person.
And published by a crazy person.
Yeah. Like, this is... What the hell? How did this get cleared? I mean, I know it was the 90s.
And it's also weird that they don't put the logo of the game anywhere in the ad, too.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it's got the box art for the game. I mean, I recognize that this was Lunar.
I wouldn't have. Like, any non-Lunar fan would never
I
have
guess.
known, unless they read that.
But, well, maybe they're trying to get you to read it with all this stuff here. Because, there's no Lunar logo here.
That's a bad ad.
But, it's a stupid... It's terrible. It's garbage. Oh, but okay. We're the dummies. Of course, it opens up into a spread.
Why even bother having that first page? Just have this.
Yeah. And just say, hey, on January 1st, 2001, this game will no longer be manufactured. Get it while you still can. Instead of having
this strange...
Instead of having this screed, this manifesto, just have... Look at this. This looks sick. This looks awesome. You got this full-page anime character. You got this other full-page anime character.
Screenshots? Yeah, screenshots
brandishing
on the
a
side.
sword. You got screenshots showing some of the FMVs and the enhanced graphics from the PlayStation version. You know, you've got all the swag, like the soundtrack, and is that a poster? Yeah, that's like a world map poster. All that stuff.
We need to have, like, press pause, what were they thinking edition.
Yeah,
at some point.
and it talks about, 50 plus minutes of incredible animation, because, that's the full motion video stuff.
Right.
Exclusive making of Lunar CD, 100-page cloth hardbound art book, full color cloth map.
So I watch Colin Moriarty and Last Stand Media, and one of them had that, and he actually brought out the cloth.
Oh.
And he's like, it was like, it looked really weird, and one of them commented, they were like, is it wet? Because when you get like a map, it's typically like that glossy paper, and he's like, no, it's not wet, it's cloth, and he was like, holy shit, that's premium.
Ultima games always used to come with cloth maps.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Why don't they do that anymore?
It's expensive.
Well, yeah, for sure. But I mean, just charge a premium.
Yeah. Yeah,
I pay for that.
yeah, like a special edition, like
Yeah.
$20 to $30 more, comes with the soundtrack, comes with like an art book,
Cloth
map, something
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I mean, they'll never do the art book stuff anymore because they can sell them for $60.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
Although they do digital art books now, although I don't know
Yeah.
who really cares about digital art books.
But yeah, so
Crazy.
and they didn't even stop selling the game for that long. So we have previews.
Oh, there's Lego Racers. We were talking about that.
Oh yeah. There you go. Previews Armorines, which is another acclaimed game based on a comic book, which had a PlayStation and an N64 game.
Rest in peace, Claim.
Yeah. Well, maybe we don't bless them for after the things they did. To fucking put a Shadow Man ad on your tombstone.
I mean, that's true.
They
made some good games, though.
Yeah, they made some good games.
Acclaim and Midway both,
But I mean, they,
just bad business.
Right towards the end, things got
Road
bad.
Rash Jailbreak. I don't even remember that was.
Road Rash Jailbreak. That was the last Road Rash game.
Was it really?
Yeah.
I don't even remember playing that one. I was gonna say Road Rash 64 is still the best one.
Road Rash 64, Road Rash 3D, both really good games. Different games.
Very different.
You'd think it'd be the same game. Nope.
Yeah, wasn't 3D on like a moto bike more than it was like a Harley type?
No, you could get both. You could get like the Japanese bikes or the like the Roadhog, like American bikes.
America.
Yep. I like this ad.
Is that for just is that
hockey game?
Blades of Steel.
Blades of Steel 2000.
Just another example of how many NHL games there were back then.
Yeah, but Blades of Steel is an old school hockey game for the NES. Remember, it has voice acting in it. You pop it in, turn on the power, it goes, Blades of Steel. And that really, like, low quality, really muffled. Yeah, basically. But super, super muffled. And also, Double Dribble, which is also a Konami game. Yeah. Here we have it. The End of the World Survival Guide. I love this picture of the dude running with this stack of games.
So is this just a list of games they recommend
from
the past, or is this coming ahead?
I believe it. Well, let's see. All of this could happen before the year 2000 arrives, but you crawl into the safest end of the blah 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 blah. I think this is games that
are necessary for survival.
Yeah, games that have that are out and are about to come out. Right, like basically games that will be available by the time you have this.
Let's see how many of these are actual classics today.
Well,
first one,
Metal Gear Solid,
definitely.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night,
one of the best games of all time.
Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver,
not as highly regarded, I will say, but still amazing.
Resident Evil 3 Nemesis
got remade.
Siphon Filter,
definitely not.
That's the one that it hasn't stuck.
No.
Which is weird, because they made a bunch of those games.
Yeah, you can't go back and play them, though. They're really bad now.
They also say you should have
a generator.
A generator.
Oh my god.
They have actual good advice in the corner here.
I don't know if that was good advice, but...
Yeah.
It's
other notable adventure games, Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 2 DualShock. That space filler, guys. You can just put the one on there.
Yeah.
Riven, the sequel to Myst, also just got remade.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider 2, Broken Sword, Dino Crisis, Heart of Darkness, Medieval, Silent Hill, Tenchu. Love those assassinations.
What happened? I know what happened to that game. It became Assassin's Creed.
Broken Sword 2, Tail Concerto. I actually need to play more of Tail Concerto. I played a little bit of it. Tomb Raider 3, Clock Tower, which we're going to talk about on an upcoming episode of Press Pause.
Nice.
Our favorite horror games.
GTA
2 and Herc's Adventures. Which is a LucasArts game? Mm-hmm. If I'd known that, I might have played it. Action. So we have Crash 3 Warped. Okay. Sure. Point Blank 2, if you have the GunCon controller. Yeah. Did that game have, do you know if it had like cursor-driven controls?
Yeah, it definitely did.
Yeah? Okay, because I was thinking one of these GunCon games did, but it wasn't Time Crisis.
Cursor-driven shooters were bad, though.
Yeah. Ape Escape.
Yeah, classic.
Original Driver.
I mean, if you can get past the tutorial, yeah.
And Pac-Man World. And they also say that you should have a water purifier. Not a bad idea if you live in this town. And the other action games they recommend, Klonoa, good game.
It's fine. I hate the name though. It sounds like an STD.
Yeah.
I got a bad case of the Clono.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
bad.
Oddworld, Abe's Exodus, R-Type Delta. I mean, we've talked about this before. If you've played R-Type,
R-Type.
you've played R-Type.
You know what R-Type is, yeah.
But on the other hand, that means there's no bad R-Type, right?
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, come on, name me a bad R-Type.
I couldn't because there's 1,000. But I guarantee you there's one in there that's
okay,
not
but
great.
Well, what are the odds you're going to get the bad one?
Yeah, that's true.
Crash Bandicoot 2, sure. Einhander, which is another arcade shoot 'em up from Square. Elemental Gearbolt, which I haven't played.
No, I don't know that
G Darius, not to be confused with Gradius.
Oh, is that why they did that?
G Darius
G
and
Darius
Gradius are from different companies.
I was gonna say, yeah. They're just trying to.
Ghost in the Shell, G Police 2, Medal of Honor. Medal of
Honor's great.
On the PS1, it's a little.
Oh, well. Yeah, that was before shooters really.
Medal of Honor
came to
Frontline on the GameCube. I remember playing and having fun with that one.
I loved Air Assault.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was.
Metal Gear Solid, the VR missions, which.
That's not good.
Why is that under action, but Metal Gear Solid is under adventure?
I guess just because it's more of an arcade
Space
experience.
filling, Quake 2, actually a decent version of Quake 2
Yeah.
on the PlayStation. RC Stunt Copter, which... Okay.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure. Rising Zan? I don't even know what that is.
No idea.
Vigilante 8.
Hell yeah.
And WWF Attitude.
Not a good game.
Oh, no.
No, dude.
I guess you got to go to the N64 for the good wrestling games.
The only good ones were WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, and the WCW NWO game was pretty good.
On the PlayStation or on the N64?
I think they were both pretty decent.
I remember there was a WCW NWO on the PlayStation that I wasn't into.
It could be the same game, but I think the PlayStation had really bad loading times.
Yeah. Racing games, well, there's a lot of those on PlayStation, and they are the ones you expect. Gran Turismo, Crash Team Racing, Need for Speed High Stakes, Demolition Racer,
God, good game, man.
and R4, Ridge Racer Type 4.
Terrible name.
Terrible name.
Terrible game, honestly. I don't know how the Ridge Racer games lasted.
Yeah. They also recommend a self-powering flashlight. You know, with like
A solar.
you get like the crank
Oh,
gun.
the crank one.
I got one that's like a radio flashlight combo.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of those except for Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
What was the Need for Speed? Oh, High Stakes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd recommend Hot Pursuit if that was out at that time.
Micro Machines. These are the other games they recommend. Micro
They were
Machines,
okay.
Moto Racer 2, Toka 2, Toca 2. I've never even heard of that.
No idea on that one.
Formula 1, 98. NASCAR, 99. Sled Storm, which I guess is
I think it's a snowmobile game.
Wipeout 3, sure. Kart World Series, also don't know that one. Championship Motocross, Jet Moto 3. Monaco Grand Prix, Motorhead, Rallycross 2, Roll Cage, Test Drive 6. There's like a million Test Drive games. And those games have been around since like the late 80s. I think the first one came out in like 88 or something.
Yeah.
Chocobo Racing. I actually like that game.
I played that.
It's like a Mario Kart kind of thing. It's kart racer
sure.
with a Final Fantasy theme. It's fun. Killer Loop. Never played it.
No.
Fighting games. So this one gets a little bit interesting. Oh no, never mind. They have puzzle games on the same page. I was going to say they've got Super Puzzle Fighter here under fighting games, but no, they've got my finger was covering puzzle. So fighting games. The recommendations here are pretty much what you'd expect. Tekken 3, because it's the PlayStation, and that's the best-selling fighting game on the PlayStation, which, I mean, it's not surprising. It's a good game.
Yeah.
Soul Blade,
Was that the precursor to Soul Calibur?
Yep. Which was out by then, but I don't think it was on the PlayStation. I think it was only on the Dreamcast. And in the arcades, so that might be why they didn't mention it. I do think that Soul Calibur came out on the PS2. The PS2 wasn't out yet.
Yeah, this is PS1.
And Street Fighter Alpha 3. Great game.
Sure.
They also, for survival, recommend having a television, which you're going to need to play these games.
Yeah, kind of need one if you're going to... Yeah.
Unless you got the PS1 with the little...
the little
flip-up screen. Yeah. Puzzle games. Devil Dice, which I've never played, but I've heard is pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but never played it.
Super Puzzle Fighter, which I've always wanted to play and just never gotten around to.
I wasn't a big puzzle fan at this time, so.
And Roll Away, which is like, I guess,
A Marble Madness, like.
yeah, it looks like a monkey ball, Marble Madness kind of thing. You move the ball around. I was like, is this a game where you move the stage or a game where you move the ball? It looks like you move the ball. That's probably fun. I mean, monkey ball's fun.
Yeah. If you're, sadistic.
Well, I mean,
It's a punishing.
monkey ball does get a little crazy in some places, but like this concept. I mean, there's a million games like this, and I've never played one that was like terrible.
Yeah,
there might be one that exists, but
yeah, they're just not my type of game.
Yeah,
I feel like the OCD in me is like I don't want to balance something. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's essentially what you're doing. You're balancing.
Oh yeah,
something.
and you go on something like really thin. You're like, come on.
Yeah, it falls off. Like, that just makes me want to throw my controller. So
but I could get into it as like a mobile game where you actually tilt the phone. Yeah, like I had a mobile version of Katamari Damacy, and you could control it with tilt. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I don't know if they do that on the Switch versions. I hope they do. That's a good question. Because they've got gyro. Yeah. But I don't know if they do.
The Switch doesn't take advantage of its.
Yeah, well, it does for aiming. A lot of shooters.
Yeah, there's a lot of this. Yeah.
I'm not really into the gyro aiming though, except for new Pokemon Snap, because then it's just like moving a camera around. There's
certain games that the PlayStation 5 and 4 have that have the motion aiming as an option, and sometimes it's on by default, and I'll be aiming, and I'll be like, why is it so finicky? And then I'll be like, off. Oh, okay. There we go.
Because I kind of twist the controller in my hand to brace it as I'm like moving around to push different buttons, and that'll get the gyro aiming going, which is why I don't use it. Additional games recommended for fighting: Dead or Alive, Bloody Roar 2, which you got me with on the because I had no idea that if I'd read this in advance, I would have realized they were on the PS1. I thought that was a PS2 only series. Darkstalkers, good game. Distraga, which I've never played. Rival Schools, good game. Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha. Okay, that's a weird name. Bushido Blade 2.
Heck yeah.
And Air Guys, God Bless the Ring. Remember that fighting game with Cloud Strife?
I'm surprised Masters of Terrace Cassidy's done.
Ouch. And more games recommended for, down here. Ballistic, never played it. Bust-A-Move 4. There's a million.
I can't believe they were still making Bust-A-Moves at that time.
Yeah, they're good though.
Yeah, they stopped making them though.
Yeah. I've got, they're called Puzzle Bobble because that's the arcade version. But I've got Puzzle Bobble 1 and 2 on my Switch. Gotcha. I like Puzzle Bobble 2 a lot. Mr. Domino, which I never played.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Intelligent Cube, which I've played a lot of. I like that game.
Is that the one with like the white?
The blocks are moving down. You got to put down like a bomb on the ground.
Yeah.
And then you can speed up the blocks. And they go. And you're like a little guy running around. Yeah, it's super addicting. And then when you lose, he goes and falls into the darkness.
It's a good game.
Love that game. Shanghai True Valor. Now that I believe is like shogi or mahjong or something.
I was gonna say mahjong.
It's one of those like Asian tile games that I'm sure is really fun. I don't know how to play. If I took the time and learn it,
Does this say the next Tetris?
The next Tetris.
Didn't even know that was a game.
Yeah, there's
next Tetris.
So many variants of Tetris.
We're actually going to talk a lot about Tetris on this episode of Press Pause.
This
week.
Okay.
Preview. Ooh, spoilers.
Hello Kitty's Cube Frenzy. All right.
Don't do that.
You're not down with Hello Kitty?
No.
Maybe more of a Carol P guy.
Hello Kitty was after my time.
No, it was before. Hello Kitty's older than both of us, man.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's from like the 70s.
Okay, maybe it's after my time in North America. I should say that.
I like Agretzico. I didn't like that last season though.
Couldn't tell you.
No, it's a good show. Load Runner.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah, classic arcade game.
Miscellaneous.
This is where they stick everything that doesn't have a clear genre.
Okay.
And we have absolute classic for the PlayStation.
Parappa the Rapper.
Parappa the Rapper. Do you know there was an anime series of Parappa?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know they made a sequel to the game that wasn't as good, but
They made a few sequels. There was Jammer Lemmy and there was Parappa 2 on the PS2.
they called it Parappa 2, even though there was a sequel already.
Well, yeah, because Jammer Lemmy is about Lemmy.
Just call it Parappa the Rapper 2, Jammer Lemmy.
Yeah.
Fucking, I hate when they do that.
MTV Music Generator. You Don't Know Jack.
You don't know Jack.
Which I believe is now the Jackbox Party Pack.
Jackbox Party Pack, yeah.
And Namco Museum Volume 3.
We've talked about all of these on this show.
Yeah.
Except for You Don't Know Jack. You Don't Know Jack.
Other miscellaneous games. Bust a Groove.
Sure, why not?
Jeopardy.
Sure.
Wheel of Fortune.
The classic.
Chessmaster 2.
Oh my god. Remember Chessmaster 3000? It was a classic.
With but the old man, but he's like, roll that old man.
Yeah. It was a great game.
Jammer Lammy.
Okay, sure.
Vegas Games 2000.
That's a miscellaneous game?
Yeah, and here's one. Irritating Stick.
Okay.
Have you ever played Irritating Stick?
I've never even heard of
Irritating Stick. So Irritating Stick is a game where it's as if it's the idea is that you're holding a stick and there is a course that you have to maneuver the stick through without touching the walls.
Oh, like the drunk game where you have to try and get it around the wire where they're getting shocked.
Yeah, it's kind of like Operation in that
God.
way. But you got the course is moving and you've got to maneuver the stick through the.
That sounds infuriating.
Yeah, it can be fun until they get to the levels where they have like the really narrow gaps and they make them diagonal.
Oh.
So you have to scroll up and to the right at the same time.
Why is that a video game? That's crazy.
That's the kind of thing that would probably actually be really good in VR.
Yeah,
but
that's a good name for the game though. Irritating Stick.
Yeah, no,
that sounds like a shovelware indie game
Yeah.
that would come out now. Irritating Stick.
But then it comes
Flappy
out,
Bird,
and people are like, "Oh, this is actually really fun.
Yeah,
it really takes off."
Irritating Stick 2.
Yeah, Monopoly.
Sure.
I mean, it's Monopoly.
Sure.
I love it when they review games like that. It's like, oh, what's the score?
Yeah.
It's Monopoly.
It's Monopoly. What are you gonna
Have
give
you
it?
played the Monopoly?
Out of all of the Monopoly games that have come out,
oh yes,
this is a 10 out of 10.
The
Monopoly.
Super Nintendo version of Monopoly was trash, but this PlayStation version, that's
I
where
think
it's
we talked
at.
about that on last week's Press Pause because I was like Monopoly
Yeah.
2024 was
Yeah,
coming out.
we mentioned that. Yeah.
Like what?
Arcade Greatest Hits, Atari, and Konami's Arcade Classics and Arcade's Greatest Hits, Midway. This is the era when they were doing a lot of those, and I love to see it. You know, love it.
Now
love
they
it,
just
love it.
release all these games in giant collections, or they sell them a la carte.
Yeah, which honestly, like as long as they're keeping them available, that's great.
Game preservation.
You know what I love it when they do? When they do like, oh, here's, HD Pac-Man or whatever, but then you can play the original. It's an option in there. I love when they do that.
Yeah, or just the ones where you can press a button and the graphics and the
Yeah,
audio change.
yeah.
They gotta bring that back.
That's great too. They also recommend that you have a stun gun, which is not really a gun. It's just like a
taser.
A taser is like a gun because it shoots out it has range. It's not very long range.
Yeah.
It's like 10 feet.
I watch cop videos all the time and it never works.
Yeah.
It always just gets stuck in their clothes.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck.
Yeah. But a stun gun is just like a, you have to make contact with them.
Melee taser.
Yeah. Next is sports games, which there are so many of that they had to bleed over to the previous page. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Can't argue with that. Love Tony Hawk.
2 wasn't out, I'm assuming, by then.
No, it wouldn't have been. No, because THPS 1 was 99. So, 2 was coming, though, because that came out like a year later.
Mm-hmm.
NFL Blitz 2000.
Can't go wrong with the arcades.
NBA Live, these are all going to have 2000 in them. NBA Live 2000.
Sure.
NHL Face Off 2000.
No.
Madden NFL 2000.
No.
If you don't like NFL Blitz for some reason, if you don't like watching somebody's testicles get shattered, and you need to have the dulcet tones of John Madden.
I mean, if you'd like to play the simulator version,
Sure.
but I prefer the arcade.
And then Hot Shots Golf.
Classic.
I know you're a fan of golf video games. Me, I'm pretty much satisfied with NES Open. Back on the back on the 8-bit Nintendo.
I've played Mario Golf, Lynx.
Oh, Mario Golf is so much fun.
Yeah, Hot Shots Golf, Everybody's Golf.
Yeah.
Love golf games.
There are a lot of. I remember you had me
Tiger
over.
Woods.
You had me over one time, and you're like, "We should play Tiger Woods." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah,
And
it's golf.
you were like really into it. I was
Oh,
like,
it was so
yeah.
good.
And I was like trying
The
to
turbo.
the flicking of the stick
Yeah.
thing. I was like, yeah, this
It's
is
hard.
This is great.
Yeah, they're not. The golf games suck now.
Yeah, I like the more arcade style golf games
Yeah,
where it's just
for
like
sure.
swing. It's just like hit to there, hit to there. Okay, perfect shot.
Yeah.
Boom, awesome.
Yeah, the meter.
Yeah. But
They have that in modern games where you can play that way.
trying to get the stick flicking is like
It's hard.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well just make it like one of those Radica games. You know, like the standalone games where you swing the golf club.
The Wii version.
Yeah, basically. And other sports games they recommend: FIFA 2000, Triple Play 2000, which I'm assuming is a baseball game.
Yep.
Contender. I'm guessing that's a boxing
game, I think. Yeah.
Cyber Tiger, which sounds awesome, and then you're like, no, it's a golf game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Cyber Tiger.
That's Tiger Woods.
Is that what it is?
That's
it's
EA.
It's Cyber Tiger.
Yeah. You think they're gonna make EA is gonna make a golf game called Cyber Tiger and not use the Tiger Woods license?
Why would they call it Cyber Tiger?
I don't know.
That's a terrible.
That
name.
sounds like that sounds like an arcade shoot 'em up.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That sounds like you'd see in the arcade next to Zero Wing.
Yeah, like Cyber Tiger Hawk.
Fucking Zero Wing R-Type Cyber Tiger. Yeah.
That's a bad name.
Yeah. International Track and Field 2000, also sequel to an NES game. Just gonna do that.
Sure.
All right, John Cena.
You can't see me.
Okay, so we just had my phone die.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties. Get out that Achievement Hunter music. Actually, that's royalty-free music. One of the places I think where we got one of our podcast themes from.
Probably.
All right, I was talking about sports, I believe.
Yeah, we were just at the end of it.
Yeah, so Cyber Tiger. We were talking about
Right,
Cyber Tiger, International Track and Field, Knockout Kings, boxing game.
Boxing.
MLB 2000, NCAA Football 2000, NFL Game Day 2000. Oh my god.
I told you, man. They were stupid.
Just straight NHL 2000. No.
That was probably
NHL. Yeah, no NHL. Whatever. Just NHL. Pool Hustler. Oh yeah. Ultimate
8-ball.
8-ball. I was like, is that Ultimate B-ball or 8-ball? Because those would be two very different games.
Yeah.
X Games Pro Border. Bass Landing. It's a fishing game, unless it's Bass Landing and it's a guitar game.
I'm gonna say this was pre-Rock Band and Guitar Hero.
Yeah, so it's probably Bass. Brunswick Circuit Pro Bowling. Oh my god.
They don't even make bowling games anymore.
MTV Sports Snowboarding, but here's Animaniacs 10-Pin Alley. That's either probably really, really good or really, really bad.
Why would they even
make an
bother putting this in that?
Animaniacs bowling game? Weird.
Cool Borders 4.
Cool Borders 4. Fisherman's Bait 2.
What's with the fishing games? NCAA Game Breaker 2000.
But is that... Here's the problem.
NCAA is not a sport. NCAA is a league.
Yeah, so is that basketball or is that football?
Game Breaker is, I think, basketball. I think that's the basketball franchise.
That's the problem when we can't tell from the title.
Yeah.
NHL Championship from Fox Sports and just Tennis Arena from Ubisoft.
Yeah, well, it's Ubisoft.
That's a great name.
Yeah.
That sounds like a sports game you would have gotten like on the NES.
Yeah.
You know, before you had all these...
Extreme Tennis.
All right. RPG.
Okay.
A big genre for the PlayStation. Take a drink every time I adjust my hat. You know, I'm going to see if I can get my ponytail in there. There we go. You know one of us has to have long hair.
I've got long-ish hair.
Not as long as mine.
No.
So, Final Fantasy VII, obviously.
Duh.
So obvious that they have the green label
hits
box.
version. Yeah.
I think I told you about this, but I was at Anime North and I saw somebody selling a green label version of Final Fantasy VII for like $100.
Yeah, not quite the...
No chance.
No.
No chance.
Not quite the value.
Star Ocean, the second story. Good game. Final Fantasy VIII.
Don't even say anything. Check out our Final Fantasy tier maker list
Yes.
for more information.
Yes, you get our opinion. We talked a bit about Final Fantasy VIII. Contentious title. Upon my replay, not as bad as I remember it being.
It's not terrible.
But
it's just uninteresting.
It's definitely the weakest Final Fantasy game on the PS1.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a hard position to be in.
Yeah.
So, Lunar Silver Star Story, as we've talked about, a game that will in no way cease to be available for long, despite what this magazine tells you, and the original Grandia.
Yeah.
I believe the Saturn version is actually considered a little bit better, but I've never played the Saturn version, so I don't know.
Definitely haven't played it.
Other RPGs they recommend, and there are plenty. Final Fantasy Anthology, which has 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend the Super Nintendo version of 6. PlayStation version has loading times.
Yeah.
And the audio is...
Which is sad.
The audio is kind of weird. The audio doesn't sound quite right. But I mean, there was no other way to play Final Fantasy V at the time in North America, so at least legally.
Yeah.
But the translation in that version, I could go on about that forever, but play the GBA version of 5. It's good. Diablo, which I've never played on the PS1, but
I did.
Apparently works.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Legend of Legaia, underrated game, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed Legend of Legaia. That was where you got like the arm, like the living arm gauntlets things. They were like magical gems that had minds of their own.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah. Parasite Eve, also a good game. Recommend it. Suikoden 2, you'll find out.
I'll find out.
Soon enough, you'll find out. Tales of Destiny. Thousand Arms, which I actually haven't played.
No.
One of the few,
I know it, but...
One of the few PS1 RPGs I haven't played. Xenogears, classic game. Breath of Fire 3. I don't like it as much as 2, but I do like it. Mm-hmm. I like it better than 1. 1 is...
the weaker one.
1 is kind of rough, although a lot of that has to do with the translation. They have serious limitations where just the character length on like item names, everything ends up abbreviated. It's very strange. Jade Cocoon. A friend of mine played that more than I did, but he really liked it. It's kind of like Pokemon.
Casey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi, Casey.
He was yes. Hello. He was really into that game back then, and I was more into Monster Rancher. He was also
Monster Rancher's dope.
Yeah,
Sorry,
he was.
Casey.
He and I were both really, really into Monster Rancher. But he got really like we hung out for a weekend, rented Jade Cocoon, and he played it almost exclusively. And I played a little bit of it, and I was like, "This is okay," but he got really into it.
That's right.
Kagero Deception 2. Oh, sorry,
strategy.
This is for strategy games.
Which I'm surprised even has a section, considering the weakness of strategy games on console.
Yeah, but they say also food rations.
Don't forget food rations.
Yeah, the TV comes first, apparently.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Tactics, no reason not to. It's a great game. Civilization 2. No. Well, not on the PlayStation. I like Civilization 2 on the PC.
Yeah, it's not a fucking console game, though.
But on PlayStation, well...
It's too complicated. For a controller game.
It probably handles better than Command and Conquer. Which, needs, pixel accuracy.
For sure, but I mean, there's so many menus in Civilization.
Yeah.
There's just,
yeah, you're right.
No.
I hadn't thought about that.
And this was before a time when they figured out, the bubble...
Yeah.
the wheel stuff and all that stuff, so there was just too many.
I wonder if it supports the PlayStation mouse.
Maybe.
Because if it does, then...
Just play it on PC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
play it on PC.
Or just, skip to 5.
Well, they couldn't do that back then.
No.
And if the world ended, then 5 wouldn't have existed.
That's a good point.
So it would have been the end of Civilization.
Ooh. I should slap you with that.
Yeah. Right. Warzone 2100.
Don't even know that.
I've never played.
It calls it a lackluster PlayStation translation of CNC.
Well, it says the lackluster PlayStation translations of CNC, Dune 2000, and Warcraft 2 left a space for this dark horse to muscle into.
I've never heard of it, so I'm going to say it's probably not great.
Well, it could be a hidden classic.
It's a strategy game.
It could be.
This is pre-Halo Wars.
Yeah, but there's plenty of good Warcraft 2.
I'll believe it if I play it.
Well, maybe you should play it.
Maybe, well, is it available as a PS1 classic? We'll have to find it.
Well, yeah, we'll have to look that up. There's other methods.
What?
I don't think anybody's gonna be like, how dare you pirate this 20-year-old game.
What are the bonus strategy games they have?
The bonus strategy games are
Kagero. Never heard of these.
Kagero Deception 2. I've never played any of those games. Risk.
That should be on the list.
Yeah, I mean it's a board game, but
it's better. It's got to be better than Civilization 2 on fucking PlayStation.
But again, like how many menus would Risk have? Because think about having to translate like.
No, it doesn't. I've played Risks because it's basically just they do like you have like 60 enemies in here. How many do you want to transfer to this area?
Okay.
So it's like it's very very quick.
Command and Conquer Red Alert.
Played on PC.
They just said the lackluster train. Yeah.
Played on PC.
I've played Command and Conquer on PlayStation. It's actually the first place I played it. Played on PC.
Yeah, played on PC.
Worms Armageddon.
That's good.
Love Worms. Yeah. And Vandal Hearts 2. I've never played that.
I've heard it's decent.
I've played Vanguard Bandits, which is not listed here. But that's a decent game. They also have peripherals. They have the Gun Con for, I guess, the one gun game that they recommend in here. The multi-tap. I don't know how many of these games they recommend are 4-player.
The sports games probably.
Game Doctor. Oh, it's like a disc buffing thing. Okay.
Which ruined discs. It didn't help them.
Yeah. It depends if it's deep enough that it affects the game.
I remember I bought one and it fucking ruined everything.
Yeah, the buffing's not gonna help. If it's just like a surface scratch that's like it looks kind of ugly, but it still plays, then the buffing will take it out. But if it doesn't cause a problem, it's not. Yeah. Buffing disc, the scratches have to be to a very particular depth that they cause a problem, but the buffing also helps.
The only reason I bought it was because when I rented games, if I got one that was scratched, I would try and repair it with the buffer.
Yeah.
And it never worked.
Yeah. Some kind of arcade joystick, whatever. I like gamepads better, and a steering wheel for racing games.
Which steering wheels are typically good.
Yeah, the game has to really support a steering wheel though, because if it's just digital steering,
it's got to be a simulation game.
It's got to have like the analog sensitivity. Otherwise, the steering wheel isn't really any different from just using the pad.
No.
And that is the end of the
Y2K guide.
The Y2K guide. That's kind of the big feature, but there's still a bunch of this magazine left. They're doing reviews here. Oh, they got a review for Clock Tower 2, which I'm assuming is that'll be some. Is that John Rhys Davies? Is that John Rhys Davies in the Dune 2000?
It is.
Also, I love how they're slagging Dune 2000, and then a few pages later, literally, 2 pages.
Oh yeah, it was crapping on it.
They're advertising it. Yeah. That's John Rhys Davies, right? That looks like John Rhys Davies.
That's funny.
I mean, they got Mark Hamill for Wing Commander, so no reason they couldn't get John Rhys Davies.
This was back in the day when actors weren't paid as well as they are
now. Yeah. Fear Effect. Oh yeah, I remember. This is that game that has lesbians in it, right?
Sorry, overpaid.
Yeah.
No offense, actors, but
yeah.
Getting $30 million to be in a movie is kind of.
I mean, I say you should take what you can get, but also they need to pay all actors better.
Yeah.
And not screw over the voiceover actors and be like,
Agreed.
We're gonna use AI to replace you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Tomorrow Never Dies. I always preferred the N64 Bond games, and then they came out on GameCube as well. Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, From Russia with Love.
There was only 2 James Bond games that I actually enjoyed: GoldenEye and Nightfire.
Yeah, I liked The World Is Not Enough. I thought that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, that one was pretty good. Yeah, I remember that one.
Ooh, Rainbow Six?
Yeah, for the Game Boy Color.
Well, no, they've N64 and PlayStation.
Oh, okay, it's showing all the versions.
Yeah, but there is a I guess a GBC version. Man, this was back when it was Red Storm and they weren't owned by Ubisoft.
Yeah.
Man. That is a long time ago.
Way better.
Yeah.
Now we have Siege, for those that like Siege.
I mean, the physics are cool.
Yeah, if they run a single player.
Yeah. R.I.P. Rainbow Six Patriots.
Yeah. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You guys couldn't make a single player Rainbow Six.
Yeah,
Just-
Clock Tower 2, The Struggle Within, which is like a spin-off.
What did you get? Oh, a 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5.
Not great.
Yeah. X-Files game.
Got a 3.
Yeah?
These are out of 5, by the way.
Yeah. There's an X-Files game on the PS2 that's, I think is better than this, but I don't remember how good that game was. Subscription card. As always. Oh wow, Missile Command, like a 3D Missile Command.
Did they give it a rating?
Look
I didn't
at
see a
that.
rating.
3.
No, 2. Oh yeah, 3.
3. I mean, it's Missile Command,
3 must be the equivalent of a 7
I guess.
on IGN scale,
Yeah.
but definitely not our scale.
Oh, look at that, Qbert, another '80s arcade game, a full 3D version of it.
3D remake.
Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think they need to give it a rating. They just need to say it's Qbert.
Yeah.
Have you played Qbert? Did you like Qbert?
Yeah.
Then you'll like this because it's Qbert.
Yeah.
Oh God, Mission Impossible for the PlayStation.
Apparently that wasn't as bad as people gave it shit for.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've heard the PlayStation version is
maybe
terrible.
it was the 64 version that was decent. I don't know.
The 64. So the 64 version. Well, we played that, didn't we? I played it. I beat this game.
Oh, I definitely didn't.
It was.
I may have played it, but I don't remember.
It was like what it was based. It walked so Hitman could run.
Oh, okay.
Because Hitman is a better version of this. It's you hiding in plain sight.
Which is funny because now the people that are making Hitman are making a James Bond movie or James Bond.
James,
game.
yeah.
It's
Weird
full circle.
Weird how that goes around.
Yeah.
And this is not the Hitman developers.
No.
This is the Mission Impossible game we're talking about. But it was like it's you got the laser scene, of course.
Oh yeah, I've definitely seen it. I've watched reviews on it on.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
But there's a thing that like makes a mold of people's faces, also from the movie.
The mask. Yeah.
Yeah, and you use that a lot. You gotta I believe there's even a point where you use an empty gun to like threaten somebody. They don't know the gun is empty.
I see.
But if you pull the trigger and it goes
They'll
click,
know.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so there was some cool stuff, but it's not implemented super well. It was good enough back then, but if you go back and play it today,
Remember Winback?
Oh yeah, I do remember Winback.
Yeah. Covert Operation.
Yeah, it was
decent.
It was okay. I remember the multiplayer mode in that. First of all, it had a multiplayer mode. I think it was an instant kill if you got up and did the kick on somebody.
Yeah. And it was always like laser tracking, so you know like all the guns had lasers on them.
Yeah,
So you'd be like, oh shit, he's aiming at me.
Yeah. Shadow Tower. That is basically a successor to
Shadowgate?
No, to Kingsfield, which makes this a predecessor to Demon Souls and thus Dark Souls.
Was it made from Soft?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
And they did not review it well.
Oh, 0.5. Oof.
But like I read.
Oh, that's publisher Edge Tech. That's the same guys who are doing all the
Edge Tech.
fishing games.
Yeah.
Not a good publisher.
But like, I mean, they're not lying. Combat consists of 1, run up and attack. 2, back off and wait a moment. 3, repeat 1 and 2 until bored out of your mind.
Fair.
They're not wrong. That is what the Kingsfield games are. That is what Shadow Tower is. That's it to a T. And that was fine when Kingsfield 1 came out, because that was a launch game for the PS1 in Japan.
Definitely
That was a launch game.
Not fine in 2001 or whatever this game.
Yeah, 2000. Magazine. Yeah, that you gotta. I'll show it to you after this. I might have it on my phone.
Jesus. Scrabble.
Why
is Scrabble?
It's a Sony phone, so
that's true.
Scrabble. Yeah, again, rating. It's Scrabble.
It's Scrabble. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know how you can. Like, oh, this is a shitty version of Scrabble. Like, is it as good as or better as having the
I guess
board?
the only thing that really would...
Like, maybe the reviewer just is kind of meh on Scrabble.
It could also be that the game's recognition of the words that you're creating is not...
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would just...
substantial.
It's just a dictionary, right? They just check it against words in their in-game dictionary.
Well, that's what I mean. Maybe their dictionary's not, like...
Maybe it's not very good.
Maybe it's not long enough.
Yeah. But it's on a disc. It's not like they don't have enough room for it.
That's true.
I wonder if they say what they're...
How can you have 4 players play Scrabble on the same television? All right, everybody, close your eyes. Make sure you can't see the letters.
Okay, that's what you're thinking of. I was just like, just pass the controller.
Maybe that's why
around.
it's 2.5.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah. I can see their fucking letters.
Scrabble GoldenEye edition.
Yeah.
Everybody can see everybody else's screen.
Yeah, split screen it and put some cardboard up.
I remember you used to think about that. Like, is there a way you could like do a 4-way?
People did it, man. Go on YouTube and
like
look for it.
I know you can do like the halfway, but like.
Oh no, people did it. They made like a T-section cross.
Oh no!
And they taped it to the TV with like the clear.
But
tape.
then one person would have to be like standing up, like so they can only see
that
corner, and one person's down.
Well, the picture that I saw, it was 2 kids sitting like this for the bottom of the TV, and then there was 2 on chairs sitting behind them, so they couldn't see the lower parts. It was awesome.
Oh, did it look like it worked?
Yeah, it looked like it worked.
Okay.
I wouldn't have put, that it was basically packing tape they used to tape it to the television.
Yeah,
so I don't know whether I would have put that on my TV.
Yeah, I'd be nervous about that. But get your what is that? 75 inches? Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like practically having 4 1080p screens anyway. Because like that's like my television is basically 1/4 of that because mine's a 40.
There would be no way of dividing that thing into four quadrants.
You'd have to be like hanging from the ceiling.
Yeah. Nope.
Oh my god. In television, classic games, another arcade collection, or not arcade collection because it's in television, but it's another collection of old games. Yeah. Supercross Circuit, whatever. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. This issue of OPM, despite having Gran Turismo on the cover, has full game coverage for Resident Evil 3. And it also has kick-ass art. Why is this not the cover? That's a good awesome. Question,
instead of having the
like sometimes the American comic book style cover art is really bad. Like I don't know if you've seen the one for Silent Hill 2 for a magazine that came out back in the day. It looks bad. But
that's dope, though.
This is awesome. Yeah. This should be a poster. I put that on my wall.
Yeah, that was great.
I haven't even played the original Resident Evil 3. Actually, I haven't played the remake either.
Oh, the remake?
I should.
Have you played the remake of 2?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you like that, then you like the remake of 3. Yeah. It's exactly the same.
But like, I haven't even played this game. I put this on my fucking wall. This is awesome.
Yeah. No, that's dope.
They give you listings of all the gunpowder combinations. How you level up your gunpowder mixing skill and how it affects how many rounds you get. They give you do's and don'ts herb mixing chart.
Which the herb mixing chart you don't really need. It's
if you don't know,
it's not complicated.
Yeah, if you don't know how to mix the herbs by Resident Evil 3, this is you're either really dumb or this is your first Resident Evil.
It's mixing colors. You know?
Yeah, and there's only 3.
And the only one I ever really used was green and green.
Yeah,
because you never got enough, or green and red.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever used a blue herb ever. What did the blue herb do?
It
cures poison.
Poison if you got bit by one of the spiders,
which is only on the harder difficulties in the remakes.
So it's not really. Although green, red, and blue give you temporary invincibility.
Yay!
Full heal as well, though.
So is a double green basically.
Oh, double green is 50% health.
You could put 3 greens together back then? Holy shit. You can't do. I don't think you can do that in the remake. I'm
pretty sure you can.
If you can, I never did it.
Yeah. Well, you shouldn't. You should use
two greens or 2 greens or a green or a red.
Yeah.
Those are the best combos.
Yeah.
More walkthroughs.
Yeah, it's all of. I mean, Resident Evil 3 isn't that long of a game because there's only one character, but this is probably why they had Mercenaries mode.
Mercenaries mode's so fun.
Yep.
Was that in 3?
Yep, that was the first game to have it. And Mercenaries mode was a little bit different. It wasn't a survival thing. It was get from point A to point B. Okay. It was basically like a special mission, but you were either like Carlos, Mikhail, or Nikolai because they were the mercenaries. Yeah. Which is where the name comes from.
That's cool.
And you could use the points that you earned to unlock weapons for the campaign, including infinite rocket launcher for $4,000.
It's kind of mind blowing to me that they never made a Mercenaries game.
Well, they did on the 3DS.
On the console.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
But
I'm sorry, but pre-Switch handheld is like a lower form of life.
Yeah, but that's. I mean, they're not gonna make a full like big budget.
Dude, can you imagine a
Well,
like
look.
a Helldivers style Mercenaries game?
Okay, but
Let's do it.
remember what the response to Resident Evil 6 was? I mean, that game basically feels like Mercenaries mode because it's all action all the time.
Yeah, but it's
And
not good though.
yeah, but that's why.
But the Mercenaries mode game was good.
Yeah, because people were expecting an action game, but if you give them a full game that always plays like the Mercenaries because it's an action game, they're going to go, "This isn't Resident Evil."
I'd buy it as long as it was good.
I'm just telling you, that's what they did with 6. It was an action game and people hated it.
Yeah, but don't give me story. I don't need no story. Just,
Oh.
just have it. Just Mercenaries mode
you,
only.
You just want Resident Evil arcade action.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just take Mercenaries mode, make it its own
Okay.
game. Yeah, make it like Helldivers 2, where you're like you're going into a level.
Literally Mercenaries mode,
That's
not just
it.
okay.
Yeah. And expand on that idea, make more characters, customize your loadout, all that kind of shit. It'd be fun. Especially the way 5, like I liked 5 Mercenaries mode the best. That game is perfect.
Okay, now I'm kind of on board. I thought you were just talking about like mercenary style action the whole game, but no, it's like literally like ranked mode. Scored Mercenaries mode.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, I don't need no story. Just give me in there to shoot things.
Okay.
The amount of time I've spent on Mercenaries mode in 5 alone is like it's a lot.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy would play that for just
okay. I'm on board. You've converted me. I'm now a believer.
Gotta get those S ranks, man.
Yeah.
Or I think it was double S ranks at some point.
Yeah. And they even have all of the ending screens for spoilers, by the way, if you haven't beaten, well, I guess like I have, if you haven't beaten Resident Evil 3.
There you go. You just spoiled the game for yourself.
Yeah, oh my god, how terrible. There's all the endings.
Guess what? The good guys won.
Well, did they though?
They never win.
They
always win temporarily.
They blew up Raccoon City. I'm pretty sure the bad guys won.
Did they do that in 3 or 2?
Well, 3 and 2 end at the same time. They take place simultaneously.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Actually, the funny thing is it doesn't make sense because you end up in the Raccoon City
police station. Yeah,
logically.
So they never cross paths.
Logically,
at any point.
Jill should cross paths with Leon and Claire because the police station. I mean, it's big, but it's not that big.
They might make reference to that in 3, and I just didn't.
Well,
notice.
actually, in Resident Evil 2, the remake, they updated it where you can hear Nemesis crashing through a wall.
Oh, cool.
At the same time that it happens in the 3 remake, but they updated that when they were bringing out the 3 remake.
That's cool though.
And they knew they were going to do that, but obviously when they were making Resident Evil 2, they didn't know that they were going to do 3 in the same place. So they would have had to like retcon stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the cool things that they can do with those remakes because they know.
That's cool though.
Yeah.
I like that.
But yeah, it does kind of screw with stuff because technically you should be in the police station at the same time as Leon and Claire.
Yeah.
But they also.
It's also funny from 2's perspective that Leon is it Leon?
Yeah.
Yeah, Leon and Claire are in. Is it Claire?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 playable characters.
Yeah.
They're in the police station at the same time. Technically, as well.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole game, and they're just in different areas at different times.
They only meet for story sections.
Yeah.
Even though logically they're both running around unlocking doors.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense if you saw the other character
through a window, like run by.
Yeah, or being controlled by AI, like you pass them in the hallway. You'd be like,
dope.
"Hey," or you like, "Hey, let me help you with this zombie."
They should have done that.
Yeah, they should have done that.
They could have made some really cool.
Well,
alterations.
You know what game does kind of do that? GTA 5. If the other the other 2 characters are in the city, and when you swap over to them, it takes you to their real time location.
Yeah.
You can maneuver 2 characters by swapping back and forth and going to the same location. You can make them meet up,
cool.
and they do interact. I tested.
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're like, oh, hey, what's up? That's cool. I tested that because I wanted to see if they
how
did
close
that.
you can get them.
Yeah, and they actually did have interactions. I was like, good job, Rockstar.
Oh man.
Although I guess with how much work they put into GTA 5, maybe it's not swinging horse testicles, but hey, it's still a lot of detail.
It's a lot of detail. That's why I'm saying like GTA 6 is gonna be insane,
God,
man.
yeah. They've had plenty of time to work on it.
$2 billion.
Yeah, well, and here's something, this isn't gaming related, but for anime fans, here's an ad for Mix, which became Tokyo Pop. So this was a magazine that published the Sailor Moon manga, the Ray Earth manga, Parasite, which is actually a really good series, and Ice Blade, which I'm not familiar with. But yeah.
Is that Cool Borders again?
No, this is Trickin' Snowboarder. Trick apostrophe N.
Well, we know how that all turned out.
Yeah.
That's a Capcom game. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, is that published by Capcom or developed by Capcom? It looks like it might have been developed by them because I don't see.
Trickin'.
Yeah.
Snowboarding. Interesting.
Interesting. Here we've got some products. We've got like one of those things that you can pack your PlayStation away into. Sure, typical. We've got like a weird steering thing. I guess it's like a dial on the side. Odd.
Weird.
A thing that looks like an iMac, but I guess it's a
sound
like a speaker system. And then just a Gran Turismo 2 branded watch.
Okay then. Is it even a watch or is it just a timer?
No, it's a watch. It functions as a timer
What's
as well.
the best way to count down the minutes until you get it? Oh yeah, Gran Turismo 2 watch.
Yep.
Only $22?
Yeah.
Huh.
Cheap watch.
Cheap piece of shit. Clearly. Not a quality one.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that is... Oh no, we've got the demo disc coverage. And we discovered during our downtime while my phone had to recharge that Andrew House is actually credited on the demo disc for this.
The demo disc team.
Yeah.
Or is it the magazine team?
No, it's the
demo disc Productions.
He is credited as the executive producer.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And he's not a part of PlayStation anymore.
No. But it's crazy to think that he was working on demo discs 24 years ago.
That man had a long career.
Yeah.
Please come back, Andrew House.
Yeah.
All right.
That is it.
That is magazine time.
That was a lot.
With Press Pause Extra.
That went a lot longer than I thought it would.
Okay.
But that was fun. And I will take photos of these, so we'll have them, nice and legible in case they don't show up.
Mm-hmm.
We did some testing. We think that they'll show up pretty well.
Good, yeah.
But it'd be nice to have like
you have options.
A full page scroll or something. And look, Internet Archive just came back after that hack.
Yeah, you can probably.
I'm sure you can find the magazines archived there if you want to look at them in depth.
That's true.
I mean, who's gonna sue you? Do you think EGM's gonna sue you for? EGM's been gone for a long time.
Sorry, EGM.
Yeah, sorry, EGM.
Rest in peace.
But yeah, final thoughts. Game magazines.
They need to come back.
Really? You think they need to come back?
I love magazines.
I mean, they're they can be fun, but
technically they still exist. Just
gaming websites are basically the modern equivalent to magazines.
But like gaming magazines still exist, but you typically have to go overseas to get them.
Yeah, or they're like a special like retro enthusiast magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, they're good for like articles and stuff. But when it comes to coverage, like they're always out of date. When it comes to news, they're super out of date.
Yeah, I like magazines more for the write-ins and the reviews and stuff like that. Because I just I like hearing other people's opinions.
Yeah, and it goes through a filter, so you don't have all the crazy people talking about like.
Plus, you get to keep it.
Oh my God, the character's got a little extra fabric in the North American release. Oh, it's censorship. We need to. You don't get that in the magazines.
No, you don't.
And anytime you do, I have a Game Players magazine that I got from you, where they smack the fuck down some guy who's like, "Oh, deal with it, ladies. There's not as many of you playing games." And then the magazine responded to him and said one word: celibacy. Get used to it. I was like, yeah,
wrecked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that shit. That's good.
Yeah. It was an interesting time. I love cover art. I love the
that's another thing
that they would do.
Yeah, look at this cover. It's fucking dope.
I knew you were gonna reach for that one.
Good. All right.
But and you don't have that anymore, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
You don't have the demo discs coming anymore. Not that you couldn't do demos over the internet. They just don't bother.
They just don't bother doing demos anymore. Yeah, we talked about
that.
Yeah.
Magazines, they were neat. They're always fun to flip through, and you don't need power to look at them.
Yeah.
So you can.
Next time your power's out,
Yeah.
Grab a gaming magazine.
Although, how are you gonna light it to read it? I guess
You get a phone.
Get your phone, get a flashlight.
Yeah.
But get out the candles, the emergency candles. Just don't burn your magazine.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Because you can't order those back issues now.
No.
But they were definitely important for the time. They gave you a lot of really good coverage.
Yeah.
But these days, it's just more up to the minute to get them on
IGN,
GameSpot,
YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah. And you also, the other thing is that, and this is obviously
Press Pause Gaming Podcast.
yeah. The other thing is that the magazines they gotta make sure that they stay in the good graces of the gaming companies, which is the same thing with websites today. I mean, we all know how Giant Bomb got started. Jeff Gerstmann's Kane and Lynch review, Kane and Lynch 2, I believe it was, that got him fired for.
We will never do that, by the way.
Yeah, we don't advertise. Actually, that brings me to a question: Is it a conflict of interest if I kickstart a game that I saw? Okay.
No, as long as you disclaim it.
Yeah, okay.
You just gotta
disclaim it. Because there's a game that I want to kickstart. I'll show you after this.
Fair.
But yeah, so we don't advertise. Oh, well, we don't advertise anything.
Not yet. No.
But if we ever do get ads, it won't be for games because
no.
we don't want to have that conflict of interest.
No.
But I mean, with the magazine,
if you want to send us review codes, we'll do that.
We'll do that. But yeah, magazines.
We're gonna be honest about it, though.
Yeah, we're gonna be honest. And magazines, they had to pay a whole staff, man. That's why this thing is full of titty ads.
Well, that and
Well, that and they thought that's what.
That whoever wrote it was, or produced it, directed it was some kind of special back then.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't a perfect system. It had its flaws, and obviously, if you're reading a corporate publication like Nintendo Power, you're not going to get a shit review for a first-party title. Not that first-party games from Nintendo are usually bad, but if they were, you wouldn't hear about it from Nintendo Power.
No.
Honestly, it's a lot like gaming websites today, just delivered in a monthly format. Had its strengths, had its weaknesses. It's largely gone now outside of those boutique publications, and it's kind of sad to see that stuff go. But I mean,
I'm not sure if Edge magazine is still around, but if they are, check them out if you want
a
really good quality magazine. Because it was really good.
But it's times change, technology changes. We don't. There's a lot of stuff we don't have anymore. We don't have horse and buggy repair shops.
I mean, some people do.
Well, I guess if you're, near one of those Amish villages.
Yeah.
We do have those here in Ontario.
We do. Lots of those.
Yeah. But that's kind of a special, that's a boutique thing.
It's a boutique thing as well.
Like the boutique magazine. So it's not completely gone. Yeah. But times change,
Absolutely.
And this is a tech-focused industry, and it has to change along with it.
Yeah.
So that's basically why we don't have magazines anymore.
No.
And
no one's buying them.
No one's buying them. It costs money, man. Printing them out. All
that content got made in a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot to do.
But if you were around for the era of magazines, fixing my hat again, you'll remember them. Maybe this was a fun look back into the past, and if you weren't around for it, hopefully we gave you a look of what it was like.
Yeah, it was dope.
Mm-hmm.
I miss those days. If you want to check me out on Twitter, I'm at @COE_TJ Leo.
I am also on Twitter, although for how much longer? Who knows?
Yeah. I fully anticipate.
The changes they just made are pretty devastating.
Yeah.
But I am for the moment at Ninjas. If you want to send us viewer mail, co.op.podcast@gmail.com.
You got it.
Yep.
You are correct, sir. You are correct.
Like, subscribe, all that crap. Call to action.
Share, subscribe.
There's
comment.
Somewhere around here will be links to other stuff.
I don't know if I'll do that on this particular episode.
Who knows? Look at our last extra. We did tier lists, and we didn't have to stop for a fucking phone. This was a weird setup. The framing is going to be weird. We're propping up the phone against a computer and some walls.
Yeah.
So I'll see what I can do in the edit.
We'll see how it turns out in the edit.
We'll see how it turns out.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
This has been Press Pause Extra, not a gaming podcast.
Well, it is still a gaming podcast, but it's an extra.
It's special.
It's a
It's
special. No, not gonna go there.
Yeah, don't go there.
Don't go there. Don't want to get canceled.
All right, now get back to gaming.
Or whatever else it was you were doing. Hopefully, it wasn't something unmentionable. With that, you had a YouTube video on in the background for. I think I'm gonna cut this part of it.
I think you should.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I was gonna go with the joke, but okay, we are done.
I'll hit the.